Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. They've got a busy slate, so skip Shannon, let's get to it.
Welcome to Undisputed. We are live from Los Angeles. I'm Alex Curry, here with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe. Good morning, guys. Skip, I know you're feeling great today. Oh, yeah.
To paraphrase the great LeBron James, not 7, not 8, not 9, but 10 cases of Diet Mountain Dew. How about them Cowboys?
I brought out.
Thank you for winning the NFC East and winning 10 more cases of Diet Dew from this cowboy hater across the table.
I brought out 3 weeks ago.
You did not.
Yep.
That's a lie.
You refused to let me out of it. But I tried to buy it.
You tried and you failed. Happy new Cowboys to everybody out there. Thank you.
I celebrated joy. I mean, hey, Christmas only happens once a year.
Yeah. But let's get started because Skip's Cowboys dominated their division rivals last night in a big 56-14 win. Dak threw 4 touchdowns in his best game since his calf injury. And the defense came up with 5 sacks and 2 interceptions, one of which was returned for a touchdown. And Dallas was all smiles as they celebrated their NFC East title. Shannon, on a scale of 1 to 10, how impressive were the Cowboys last night?
I gave them a 10.
A 10?
A 10.
Cowboy hater Shannon Sharpe gives them a 10.
I gave them a 10.
Did you hear that guy?
Let me tell you
It
what.
is a first.
Let me tell you why, Skip. Because I thought they dominated an inferior opponent in all 3 areas. You look at their offense and what Dak was able to do. They ran the ball just well enough. And the reason why the play action, the passes worked so well, because they couldn't stop the run with their base front. And so now you got to start cheating guys down. And now Dak play action, throwing the boot. I thought Dak did a great job of moving around, buying time in the pocket. Sometimes he escaped, got a first down with his legs. Other times he escaped pressure, got outside, hit CeeDee Lamb, hit Amari Cooper, hit Michael Gallup down the field, or throwing the football. Running the football, Zeke ran with conviction. Skip, he didn't have 30 yards, 40-yard runs. He didn't go over 100. But I thought for some first downs, he ran the ball extremely well, got the ball into the end zone. Pollard came in there, gave him a little juice. Offensively, I thought they dominated. Defensively, they said, look, we are a better football team. Our defense is better than your offense. They got into a lot of pressure front, Skip, what we call a bear front, where they cover the center and both of the guards, trying to find mismatches. You got Randy Gregory, and since D-Law has come back, D-Law's looked like a guy that went to Pro Bowl, guys that was an all-pro, a $20 million defensive end. That's what he's looked like in his return. This is what was so frustrating because you knew it. You saw what he did to get that money. And then you look at the last couple of years, he was nothing like what he's playing right now. And maybe that could be a contributor to number 11.
Thank you.
But the guy on the other side ain't playing too bad either. Randy Gregory's playing out of his mind.
He is.
It seems like everybody's playing out of their mind. Like, hold on. Because if I don't get there, Parsons going to beat me to him. D-Law going to beat me to him. Gregory going to beat me to him. And then the punt team, Skip, they got involved in it. So I gave them a 10. It wasn't so much that, they played well. They played an inferior opponent. But a lot of times we've seen the Cowboys play inferior opponents, Skip, and it comes down to a field goal. It comes down to late in the ball game. They left no doubt with about 8 minutes into the first quarter that we're the best team tonight. Washington packing stuff up. It got so bad that we had the teammates fighting each other. We're going to talk about that a little later, Skip. But I'm going to give Dak that offense credit. I'm not saying they're back. They did what they did to an inferior opponent. I'm not saying they can play this well against Green Bay, Tampa, or the Rams. But last night, this was as good as they could have hoped for. They looked really good last night against an inferior opponent. Give them credit. I gave them a 10. There was nothing to nitpick about. Dak was sensational. He took what they gave him. And he got a lot. He took a lot. But Skip, I was impressed with what they did to an inferior opponent. Give the Cowboys credit. They're the division champs, and they played well last night.
My friend, I thank you for everything you just said. Thank you for, at least for one day, giving them their due.
56-14, how can you not?
Now back to the question. Impressive scale of 1 to 10. I'm going all the way to an 11 in honor of 11 from heaven. My man, Micah Parsons, a guy you saw coming even before I did. You said he'd be the best defensive player in the draft. He might just be the best defensive player in football right now because I still think he can make a run at being defensive player of the year beyond just defensive rookie of the year. And once again last night, he was all over the field. Bottom line, biggest takeaway, on Sunday Night Football, live on NBC, I believe America's team sent a resounding message to America. We have arrived.
Against Washington football team?
I'm about to get to that. Finally, a complete game from my team. Finally, I saw combined firepower and star power on both sides of the ball that had me seeing stars in my eyes. All night long, I'm blinking because I'm starry-eyed because there's stars all over the ball. Mm-hmm. Dare I say that I saw the makings of a Super Bowl team out there. It might not be this year, but it well might be next year. Mm-hmm. And it's got a real shot at taking off this year because right on schedule, right on time, the day after Christmas, my team looked like it took off, albeit against the Washington football team, but I'll get to them again in a second. I'm talking about a team that now leads the National Football League in yards gained and points scored. Is that good this late in the season?
Yep.
That's pretty good. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about a defense that leads the National Football League in opponents' third down conversions allowed. Is that good?
That's great.
That's really good.
What were they? One for whatever last night, two for whatever last night?
Every game,
3 for 13, my bad.
Every game, somebody's 1 for 10 or 2 for 13 or 4 for 16.
Well, 23% is good.
They do it every game to everybody. They are now number one in takeaways and obviously number one in interceptions. Is that good? Mm-hmm. That is great. In the most telling stat of all, turnover ratio, they're now tied for second, just 2 behind the Green Bay Packers, who are playing at a supremely high level. But be careful, here come the Cowboys. For weeks, we have talked about how Dak Prescott has been in a slump. Dak is back in the saddle, off a game last night that he direly, sorely, desperately needed, and he got it. And he continues to almost delusionally say after the game, slump was your word, not mine. Well, even your owner said you were in a slump. Right. You were in a slump. You were killing him last week, and you deserved to kill him last week. And yet, he rose and he shone. On national TV. His 3 receivers at the Giants had a combined 90 total yards. Yeah. They had 210 yards at halftime last night. Mm-hmm. It was a wipeout of a blowout by halftime. It was 42-7 by halftime. And Dak Prescott had thrown for 322 yards and 4 touchdowns by halftime. Mm-hmm. That is extraordinary firepower. You could see the potential sitting there all year. You'd see bursts of it. Right. I saw, well, how long did they play? I saw 3+ quarters of it last night because that's all they were able to play. I thought they actually stayed in too long. But I saw more takeaways. I saw a block punt. Takeaways are contagious to me. And all of a sudden, everybody is getting in on the act. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to be objective about this because you said there's nothing to nitpick here. I'm going to nitpick one play, and it came on the first series of the game, a 3rd and long. It was actually 3rd and 16 at their 32. And this is the only glitch of the night. And it scared me. In fact, it horrified me. Dak just threw underneath to Cedric Wilson. They just gave him shot. I don't think he was going to make it. And all of a sudden, he throws a backward lateral pass, unscripted. What are you doing?
I don't know, Skip. Because we've seen teams do this before. I mean, Amari seemed to be waiting for it. He just dropped it.
I don't think it was called at all. I don't. I could be wrong. He looked like he wasn't ready for it.
It might not have been called from the sideline, but it seemed they had talked about
this. Maybe they had talked about it. I don't know. Cedric Wilson has thrown passes before, and he can throw it. Yes. But Amari dropped it, and it almost turned into a disaster on the first series. And that was that. Right. Because what happens on the first, we had to punt, obviously. Right. And then on Washington's first play, little Tyler Heineke, what does he do? He says, you know what? We can scorch that guy, that number 7 over there, because he's given up the most yards of any corner in football this year. And he goes deep. And guess what? Diggs was digging it. He said, thank you. Oh, thank you. I'll be the primary receiver on this play because I played receiver at Alabama, and in high school I was a star, and he just goes up and takes it in just like it was intended for him. Am I right?
You're right.
That was his 11th interception of the year. Again, he leads the league in yards allowed by any no cornerback has given up that many yards, which is actually a blessing,
right.
Which means there's no Dion effect going on because they all try to throw on him,
right.
Don't they?
That's why he's graded so poorly, Skip. I mean, if you look at, actually, Brown is graded higher than Trayvon Diggs, and one got 11 interceptions, the other guy got like 2 or 3.
Okay, so Taylor says, I got you. No, he got you.
You got to double move him, Skip.
I got it. So it's 11 interceptions, tying my friend Everson Walls. I was there. I covered that team in 1981. It ended with Dwight Clark's catch in the back at the end zone at San Francisco in the NFC Championship game over Everson Walls.
Right.
He was an undrafted rookie from Grambling, and everybody threw at Everson Walls because he really couldn't run.
He couldn't run.
He was like a 4'6" guy.
Well, you better throw it over his head because you throw it in front of him, he's going to pick it.
He's going to pick it. So congratulations to Trevon Diggs, and congratulations to Everson for hanging on to that record low these many years.
40 years?
That's pretty good. I'll take that. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, then we go to the turnover number 2 that you talked about. Tank Lawrence, as they call him. D-Law, as I call him. This is a play. This might be the best defensive lineman interception and defensive lineman interception return of the year.
Oh, the run is unbelievable.
Oh, it's like the best. He looked pretty good. He looked like he's got running back potential.
These guys are good now. He's like, oh, I'm not going to get to the quarterback. Let me read his eyes, jump up.
To tightrope the sideline at, I'm sure, what's he weigh, 290 maybe? Is he 300?
No, he ain't that big, Skip. Okay. He's probably like 275, 280.
I don't know. Boy, he looks 290-ish to me. He is a big man and more of a run stopper than a pass player. And yet, that just took my breath away. I said, okay, now it's gone silly, great, crazy, right? And then if we could see the block punt just to show, this is what happens when these things start happening. They just keep happening.
Yeah, this is nothing. This is regular punt, and he just crossed his face. You know you can't let the guy at the wing, you can't let him cross your face.
Okay.
Make him go around the edge because the punter's going to step up. You never let the guy cross.
Okay, so that made it 56. And yet we go back to Dak Prescott. I do think that much of what he did last night was because Kellen Moore was flat out on fire. Everything he touched, Kellen Moore, the play caller, turned to gold, as in like Super Bowl gold. From start to finish, if we could see Dak's touchdown passes, the first 3 are just scheme passes where you've just out-schemed them. You just out-tricked them. You fooled them to Zeke. Nobody took Zeke coming out of the backfield. Then here's the second one, a little rollout flip to guess who? His favorite receiver, Dalton Schultz. Nobody home. And then here we go again to, guess who? Tackle eligible, Terrence Steele. And this is the last one. This is a good throw. That's a pass for a touchdown.
But, Skip, here's the thing. Think about it. Washington played on Tuesday. No Landon Collins, no Holcomb. They're down with a couple of DBs. So now you got young guys in there. So you take advantage of that. This is what you do. You take advantage of a situation where they're without some of their players playing on really short week. They're probably a little sore, feeling sorry for themselves. The Cowboys are not going to feel sorry for you. This is our opportunity. I'm sure Mike McCarthy said, guys, this is our opportunity to get back on track. We should go out there and play very good football, and we play very good football. The results will speak for themselves. He didn't name a number. He said, but if we play the way I know we can play, I think we'll be very pleased with the outcome. That defense playing like that, Skip, if you're going to tell me, look, because right now your offense is complimentary. Your defense is the turkey.
I'll buy that.
Your offense is the dressing.
If you lead the NFL in points and yards, that's some dressing.
But think about
that might be the best dressing ever cooked.
Think about what you've seen over the last 4 or 5 games from your defense. 3 to 4 turnovers every game. 4 to 5 sacks every game in the last 3 to 4 games.
Would you go so far as to agree with me? Best pass rush in pro football?
Oh, yeah, they are right now. Okay. They're playing right now, and since they bumped D-Law down inside, and you got Gregory, and see, Skip, I know you don't like how Dan Quinn is using.
At least he rushed the passer more last night.
But Skip, a lot of time what they're trying to do, they're trying to find a weak link. It's not so much about him just who is our best guy in this situation. So let's cover up on the guard center, so that way we're going to put Michael Parsons on the back. We're going to put him on a slow guard. We're going to put him on the center. So now he has to snap the ball and try to keep Michael Parsons out of the A gap. Good luck with that.
He has the best closing burst of a pass rusher I have ever seen, including the greatest ever, Lawrence Taylor. I'm talking about closing burst. Lawrence was much more physical than Micah. Micah gets caught up in the wash against the run. He's still a slender kid from Penn State, first year.
Right.
What is he, 20? He's
probably 20, 21.
20, I think he's 21. But the point is, he doesn't even have his man body yet, and he will get a man body. Lawrence Taylor was just pure, raw physicality.
Yeah.
It was just man strength where you just couldn't block him physically.
And now, Skip, he's not going to have to be that physical a player because they're not asking middle blockers. For the most part, Skip, you're playing in space, so you're not really having to drop your hips and try to thump somebody, taking on guards and things of that nature. He'll be just fine. If I was him, I wouldn't gain a pound because speed is how I'm going to make my living. To continue to be able to close like I close.
Some of his spin moves, he was spinning on the tackle last night. He actually did a complete 360 right in his face and went around him. And I'm like, who has that kind of feet at that size, right?
Because they're so afraid, Skip, of him running around them. How do I set? If I set light, he's gonna run the edge. If I set heavy, he's gonna spin inside on me. I mean, how do I win against the kid right now?
Okay, back to the Washington football team. We owed our arch rival for what they did to us last year because it got ugly. It got ugly at Washington. Washington. Remember what they did to Andy Dalton? They literally knocked his head off, and nobody came to his defense in the offensive line. It was my low point of last season.
Right.
And then they came in here on Thanksgiving at Jerry World and just did a number on us. And Antonio Gibson ran wild, and you had 5 plays you called up the next day where we were giving up in the game, right?
Yep.
Okay, we owed them, and did we ever pay them back? Because look what we did to them. Remember what had just happened. Starting November 14th at home, they beat the GOAT. They beat Tampa head-to-head. Taylor Heineke outplayed Tom Brady in that game. Then they went to Carolina when Carolina was riding high, and it was a fairy tale return by Cam Newton. And Taylor Heineke outplayed Cam at Charlotte. And then Seattle came in a big night game. Was it Monday? I think it was Monday night at Washington. Taylor Heineke outplayed Russell Wilson. Here they came. Then they went to Derek Carr, who had just beaten us on Thanksgiving. And Taylor Heineke outplayed Derek Carr at Las Vegas. They won 4 in a row, and then we visited. And what happened? We knocked their block off. We knocked them off their little pedestal that they were riding high on. And I don't think Taylor Heineke has been the same since he got his head just about knocked off by Micah Parsons.
He looked bad last night.
Well, he's losing his nerve. Listen, who wouldn't against that pass rush? Because he knew what hell was going to be wreaked on his head last night, right? And he was looking sideways and seeing ghosts. Well, so they lost to Dallas, and then they have to turn right around quickly and play Philadelphia. Well, they actually got pushed back, but they played Philadelphia and got run off the field by the Eagles, who were suddenly catching fire, especially with the run game, as we saw again yesterday. And then we hit them again right between the eyes, and I think we finished them off for this year.
I think so. I think so, too. That 56-14, I don't think there's ever been a game in which the Cowboys have beaten the Washington football team like they beat them last night. So that's not boding well for them. Obviously, they're going to still fight with Ron Rivera in there. They're not going to give up. But, Skip, that did a lot of damage to their ego. Psychologically, that did a number on them because they couldn't do anything.
Trust me, I know this rivalry cold. There is nothing like either Dallas humiliating Washington or vice versa. It demolishes their psyche. It's hard to bounce back because you hate them so much. And if they do that to you, it's such a lasting embarrassment that it's hard to dig out from under it.
Because, Skip, we know, look, we play you guys every year. For 70 years, we played you guys every single year, twice a year. We know you. It doesn't matter the coaches. It's Washington versus the Cowboys. And for you to get 56 on a division opponent, Skip, we very seldom do we see 56 points on a division opponent. Regardless the teams, regardless AFC North or AFC West, whatever the case may be, 56 points on a division opponent, and it could have been 70. They can just think if Mike McCarthy says, "Okay, guys, just keep going. We're gonna play all the way through the third quarter." Man, they'd have put 70 on y'all.
And I'm going to remind you, last night we once again rested our all-pro left tackle, Tyron Smith, who's got an ankle, but I think they're just trying to save him for the stretch run here, maybe even for the playoffs. And so we get back to Shannon Sharpe's declaration, this team will be one and done in the playoffs. And I'm starting to think, is it possible they might be 4 and done in the playoffs? How about 4 and done?
You ain't thinking about no 4 and done. Well, let me tell you what this. If you get to Washington, because theoretically, if they started today, you'd get Philly. I mean, it's all about matchups. Now, you mess around and get Philly, okay, yeah, you're going to win a game.
Okay, we got to play in the last game at Philly. It was going to be like we did against Donovan McNabb, Romo's year. That was actually a playoff win for us. We beat them back-to-back.
But here's the thing, though, Skip. You guys are going to play it out because you guys still have a chance at the number 1 seed.
We do.
So ain't going to be no resting like Dak's rookie season where Dak played like 1 series, Zeke didn't play at all. Nah, we got 2 games to go, and we got a chance at the number 1 seed. If Green Bay falters, we went out. It's us.
No, but remember, Tampa's sitting right there. Don't forget that.
But if
they beat us in the opener.
Here's the thing. It's a 3-way tie.
Yeah.
You're 9-1 in the conference. You got a better record. So if it's Rams, you, Tampa, you get it. Now, if the Rams lose and you and Tampa go head-to-head, Tampa would beat you because they beat you head-to-head. But all you can hope for is, just keep on winning, Rams. Y'all keep doing what y'all doing. We keep doing what we doing. We could possibly 1-2.
I'd even take the 2 right now.
No. I want you to do it number 1 seed because it'll hurt a little bit more. Because that way you have everything you want. We the number 1 seed. We got number 1 scoring offense, number 1 yards offense. We take the ball away, yada, yada, yada.
Yada, 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 yada.
Yeah.
Go.
No mercy.
Baker Mayfield led a furious comeback attempt by Cleveland, but he threw one too many picks late in the Browns' 24-22 loss to Aaron Rodgers and the Packers on Christmas Day. He finished with 4 interceptions and afterwards admitted, quote, "I hurt this team. That's the most frustrating thing for me. When you turn the ball over and give them extra opportunities, they're going to take advantage of it." So, Shannon, give Baker a letter grade.
An F. That's the only grade anybody should be able to give him. He was terrible. He's the reason why they lost this game, and I didn't need him to break. He didn't break news by saying he cost his team. Everybody knows he cost his team. They were running the ball. Let this sink in. They ran the ball. The Cleveland Browns ran the ball 25 times for 219 yards, basically 9 yards a clip. I'm trying to figure out how is this flip where Baker throws 36 times and you run it 25 times, but yet you're getting 9 yards every time you run the football, but you put the ball in Baker Mayfield's hands. Baker was terrible. And he is the difference, Skip. This is what happened. He went 2 of 10 with 4 interceptions on throws 10 yards or more down the field. 3 interceptions in the first half, all led to Green Bay Packer touchdown. So the points that they had in the first half came directly off the hands of Baker Mayfield. I don't get this. But this is what we've seen from Baker Mayfield. With 1st and 10 at the 50-yard line, with a minute left in the game, and you only need a field goal, Baker Mayfield with incomplete interception. We saw this opening Sunday in Kansas City. We saw it against the Chargers. We've seen it over and over again. The moment he's positioned to say, okay, Baker has arrived, what does he do? Nothing. Since he's entered into the league, he has the most interceptions in the NFL. Skip, I wonder what Pro Football Focus rated now over the last 11 games. Because last year they had a lot. You liked it too. Baker Mayfield has 15 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. Did you know? Did you know, Skip, 8 of his 11 interceptions have come since OBJ is in L.A.? You know it was his fault. OBJ, you're the reason he's forcing it to OBJ. If he wouldn't force it to OBJ, he would be so much better. OBJ chilling, catching tubs, getting first down, doing good things.
I got to get a new TV.
You need to
I haven't seen that. I saw 4 catches for 37 yards.
Did he get a tub?
37
Did he get a
yards?
tub?
From 2 yards out, he did. On a backup corner, he did. Well, it is.
He couldn't get stats because he was playing with a backup quarterback in Cleveland. He played with a backup quarterback. Stop this, Skip. Skip, he was bad. This game was, if Baker Mayfield doesn't turn the ball over, they run Green Bay off the field. You know that I do. I don't think we have it. As well as Aaron Rodgers played, 24, 34, 202, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, a very clean game. But the Browns were moving the ball up and down the field if they could just stop one guy from giving it to the other team. I mean, the best combination, everybody keeps saying the best combination in the NFL is Aaron Rodgers to Devontae Adams. The best combination is Baker Mayfield to whomever defense he's playing. That is the best combination in the NFL. You know your guy stunk on Saturday.
I don't know that.
What?
Tell me when it's my turn, please. I cannot wait. Let me go. Please.
Wow.
Are you going to concede the floor to me? Because when you do, you're in trouble. You ready?
Yep.
Thank you. Anybody who doesn't just spill over with Baker hate knows that he deserves a B for that performance.
A B?
Yes, a B.
With 4 interceptions?
Okay, let's put the big picture perspective on this to begin with. Pro Football Focus ranks Devontae Adams the #1 receiver in pro football, right?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, the first Cleveland receiver on the whole rankings list, you have to go all the way to 71st to Donovan Peoples-Jones.
Okay.
A second-year, 6th-round pick out of University of Michigan, okay?
Okay.
He's 71st. Baker's receiving core in general, the whole receiving core is ranked by Pro Football Focus 21st in the league. Green Bay's is 5th overall because I'll take Lazard over anybody that Baker has left because Jarvis he plays half-hearted football. He's been beat up. His best friend in the world, his soulmate was Odell, and he's not there. And Jarvis has crushed over it, and he's become more of a liability for Baker Mayfield.
So now you get jumping on Jarvis.
Right, well, I'm just telling you the true perspective here. Now, let's go back to what started all this off. Middle of the first quarter, it's 8:55 to go. There's an illegal block, if we could see this, on the, I believe it's on the kickoff. It's an illegal block. And even on Fox, our man Troy Aikman, he didn't even touch him. He didn't even touch him. There's no illegal block here. He just pulled up, and even our man Troy Aikman said on Fox, that is a horrible call, and it pushes them all the way back to 1st and 10 at the 8-yard line.
They're going to call that every time.
Okay, so they will not call that because he pulled up. He didn't even touch him.
Because that's the sign. I ain't do nothing.
That showed me this was going to be Aaron Rodgers' day because the refs, Baker hate is everywhere, and you are the leader of the Baker hate corps because it all stems from all those progressive ads, and I am sick to death of all of them, and there's a new one every weekend between those and the Nissan Heisman House ads. I'm sick and tired of Baker that way, just about the way everybody else is. But he's got the biggest target drawn on his back thanks to his commercial making of any player in the National Football League. So now it's 1st and 10 at the 8-yard line, and he goes deep to the 71st ranked receiver in Pro Football Focus, Peoples-Jones. That's all he's got. Let's throw it deep to Peoples-Jones. And what do the Packers do? They impede him all the way up the field. That this is illegal contact from start to finish, and he is not completely off his route, way past 5 yards. Illegal contact, holding, illegal contact. Throw the flag! Throw the flag! What are you doing? It's going to be 1st down and you're out of jail. And instead, it's an interception, and Shannon Sharpe's up there dancing in his palatial estate in Bel Air. See, he threw an interception. It's a flag. Throw the yellow. That should have been 5 yellow flags coming from all sides of the field. So cancel out that interception.
No, we cancel out.
Yes, sir. That's illegal contact. Baker's trying to gauge where he's going to be on his route. I'm going to throw it to where he's going to be. No, he's held. He's impeded. I'm sorry. That is not an interception. So we cancel out number 1.
Okay.
Then we go to interception number 2.
Yep.
This one's to the aforementioned Jarvis Landry, who's just basically quit on the Cleveland Browns. Baker throws it. It's supposed to be an out cut. Wait, we missed the second one.
No, right there.
Okay, I think the next one came in order. But anyway, this is the bad one. Okay, I'll give you that one. Let's go in order. This is the bad one. That's the one. And let me stop down. Baker Mayfield almost certainly needs surgery on his torn labrum and cracked left shoulder. He's got a fractured left shoulder. He has to play in a harness. And let me ask you this. How many NFL quarterbacks over the weekend played with a harness on their left shoulder? How about none? Because I looked all around. I don't know any who played with a harness on their left shoulder. Baker Mayfield is not the biggest guy, but he can generate velocity with whip torque in his torso. So he has to spin into the throw. But if you put a harness on his left shoulder, he just has to throw it with his arm. So I'm sorry, that was the classic one where if he plants and throws it falling back off his back foot, he does not have the arm strength of a Josh Allen or a Patrick Mahomes or even an Aaron Rodgers, and that ball sailed over Jarvis's head. I give you that. Okay. The other Jarvis throw, I will not give you. It's to this near side.
Okay.
He throws it on what should be an outcut by Jarvis Landry. If we could see that play, I hope we have it. Here's the outcut to Jarvis Landry. And what happens? Jarvis slips and falls down. He's supposed to plant and cut to the sideline. I'm sorry, that's not Baker's fault. That's number two. Number two, not his fault. His feet go straight out from under him. And up there in Bel Air, Shannon's dancing, saying, another pick by Baker Mayfield.
The DB was already driving the ball.
But if you cut with him, you're going to fight for the ball, and it's going to be an incompletion.
I believe, Skip.
You have to stop on a dime and cut.
He can't.
It's an out cut.
No, Skip, let me explain.
No, you're not going to explain nothing to me because I saw his feet go completely out from under him. Go ahead.
No, but Skip, what happened was, Skip, they run the inside, and what they're doing is they're running two seams. And so Jarvis is on the inside, and they're both running verticals. It was not a stop. It was not an out.
Yes, it was. Okay. It's an out cut. Okay. Baker said, I threw it to the sideline, and his feet went out from under. Okay. I don't know what else you could say on a ball like that. Okay, now let's go to 12:42 of the fourth quarter. It's still a game. It's 24-15. And here we go with our man, 71st ranked Donovan Peoples-Jones, a second-year, 6th-round draft pick. And Baker throws him a deep ball. If we could see this. And this is a sweet throw. Sweet throw, and Peoples-Jones can't hold on. This is early in the fourth quarter. You have to catch. If you're an NFL receiver, if you're a Shannon Sharpe, Hall of Fame bound, you just have to catch that ball. You can't throw it much better than that. You just have to pull it in and hold on, and you're going to have the ball down at the, whatever it is, the 5-yard line, and you're going to go in and score and give yourself the whole fourth quarter to make up on, because that's going to make it 24-22, which was the final score. You're going to have the whole fourth quarter to play with. Instead, they didn't eventually cut it to 24-22 until 4:36 remained in the game. So it's going to be dicey down the stretch. Okay, so now let's go to the final interception that you blasted Baker for. This is Rasul Douglas on, guess who? The 71st ranked receiver by Pro Football Focus, the 6th-round pick, second year out of Michigan. Okay, what happens on this play? Oh, Rasul grabs his jersey and impedes him and holds him, and nobody throws a flag. That should have been 7 flags. They should have been throwing flags from the press box. The review official up in the press box should have thrown his flag out the window.
That ain't
it's an out. Okay, well, I'm just saying you've got to throw the flag on that because Peoples-Jones is just saying, what are you doing? He grabbed him, and think about this, Rasul Douglas, who's been a great pickup by the Packers. He grabs him and actually springboards off him and sort of he slingshots himself into the throwing lane, and he becomes the primary receiver. Okay, if you throw that flag and you give them the ball at that spot, guess what's happening, ladies and gentlemen?
Nothing.
It's 1st and 10 Cleveland at the Green Bay 40 with 50 seconds left. That means one more completion by Baker Mayfield. I don't know, 10, 15-yard completion. All of a sudden, you're going to have a very makeable field goal. You got a new kicker. I have no idea, but he just made a 37-yarder. What if he could make a 45-yarder to win the football game? You give Baker Mayfield an F when he was in position if the correct flag had been thrown, and it was an outrageously bad non-call. If you give him that call at that moment, Baker Mayfield well might have beaten Aaron Rodgers because he actually outthrew him for the game. Look at the total yards. Baker had 222 to Aaron's 202.
One guy had 3 touchdowns with 0 pick, and the other guy had 2 touchdowns.
One guy
with
had
4
1 pick.
No, he got 4.
No, Baker Mayfield had 1.
No, he did not have 1
because I just showed you the other 3. They should not have been.
Hold on, Skip.
All 3. I just showed you 2 penalties should have been called, and Jarvis Landry's feet go out from under.
I love how you say his receivers are the 71st ranked receiving corps. Or Peoples-Jones is the 71st ranked receiver. They had the 21st ranked receiving corps. What's Baker ranked? He's the ranked quarterback.
Well, does he have any help? Aaron's got, boy, you want to talk about firepower?
Whoa. First of all, hold on. Wait a minute.
So wait, Aaron has Devontae Adams, the best receiver in football. And wait a second. Aaron Rodgers threw for only 202 in that game?
Yes.
That's horrible.
Skip.
And wait, look at third down. Look at Green Bay on third down. They were only 3 of 10. Guess what Baker was on third down? 7 of 12. That's pretty good.
And if you don't turn it over, you win the game.
Well, if you get the 2 calls, you win the game. Win the game.
I remember that there was the same thing. Now, we just had this conversation about 3 weeks ago. Stephon Diggs was pulled to the ground. And you said, that's not a flag, that's not a flag, that's not a flag. Now, all of a sudden, you screaming for flags.
I'm just talking about what I saw on Christmas Day at Lambeau.
I saw
Merry Christmas to you and to Aaron.
I saw your guy stink it up on Christmas Day.
Boy,
That's what I saw.
I didn't.
You didn't see that?
I saw one pick that sailed to Jarvis. That's all.
And the DB dropped another pick on the over route that he was trying to hit Hooper. He dropped that one. He hit it right in his chest to start in the fourth quarter. He should have had 5.
No. It could have been caught, but it didn't hit him in the chest.
It hit him dead in the chest.
But the point is that Baker Mayfield playing with the harness on his left shoulder, torn labrum, cracked left shoulder, with Donovan Peoples-Jones as his primary, actually played pretty well at Lambeau.
He did not play pretty well.
He was in position to win the football game, and you gave him an F for that? Really?
As a matter of fact, now that you keep talking, I'm giving him an F+.
Really?
Because they would have won that game. If Case Keenum starts, they win the game. The way Chubb Rock was running the ball, the Jackson kid was running the ball, all they got to do is just, Johnson kid was running the ball. All they had to do was keep it out of Baker's hand. I keep telling you, he's not it. I don't know why, Skip. I get it.
That looked good. You know what? I hope you and everybody else get exactly what you want. I hope
so too,
that the Cleveland Browns cut him loose. And I hope he could clear the air and change scenery and go somewhere else where they really want him, because he can play. He can win games. I told you that before they drafted him. And I'm sorry, he just needs to start fresh somewhere else in a better scenario.
I kept telling you that, Skip. The problem is that he's the number 1 draft pick. And when you're the number 1 overall draft pick, people have these lofty expectations. You're generational. You change life. He doesn't change anybody's life. He changes coaching staff.
Would you believe his rookie year has been graded by Pro Football Focus as the 3rd best since they've been doing it over the last 25 years?
And what did he get him?
Rookie year? Well, it got Shannon Sharpe driving the bandwagon for Baker Mayfield in year 2. It's calling him shake and bake, and you were the leader of the fan club.
Let me ask you a question. Do you believe his rookie season was better than Justin Herbert's last year?
Well, was it graded better? Yeah, I'm just going off their grade.
I'm just going by eye test. Like you tell me, you don't care about grades. You go by eyes. You say your eyes.
Yeah.
What did your eyes tell you?
Yeah, I love Baker as a rookie. I thought he just set the world on fire after his coach, Hugh Jackson, had sat him down in training camp, called him in, and said, congratulations, son, you're going to be our 2nd string quarterback.
Hugh saw something we didn't see. Hugh saw what he was, a backup.
Well, you saw something I didn't see, I guess, in year 2, because you were driving the bandwagon.
Whoa, Skip. But here's the thing. I realized this thing didn't have any brakes. And that before we gained any more speed, let me jump off before I hurt myself. And that's what I did. Well, but your head hard. Well, you see this thing, it's too fast for you to jump off it now.
Have you jumped off the Sam Darnold bandwagon? Because you told me before that draft, Sam Darnold would be the best quarterback of that crop. That's what you said.
I said it. And you said Baker Mayfield. And since I've had new material to go by, Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson are better than Baker Mayfield. You are unwilling to admit that.
What about Sam Darnold? That was your guy in the draft. And the guy I saw yesterday, he looks like a BUST bust.
What your guy look like? Your guy's not going to have a BUST in Canton. He's the number 1 overall pick.
He was in position to beat Aaron Rodgers on Christmas Day.
In position?
Good, yeah.
What they got to do with anything?
Well, he had 1st and 10 at the 40. All you got to do is throw the flag. They hate him. They hate him.
Nobody hates him. Okay, yeah. No. Yep. He hates success. Stop throwing it to the other team. The number 1 duo in football, Baker Mayfield to your defense. That's the number 1 duo. Better than Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams, if you can believe it.
I appreciate the opportunity to put Baker's game in perspective, in true perspective.
All I know is he going to put, tell you what else he doing? He putting the Cleveland Browns season in perspective. They're going to be going home thanks to Baker Mayfield. That's where they're going to be going.
I'm going to say this one last time. Without Odell, after he got hurt last year, Baker went on a tear because Baker was healthy. And in 11 games, they went 8-3. And Baker Mayfield last year threw 20 touchdowns to only 3 interceptions over those 11 games and had a QBR of 91 in a playoff win over Pittsburgh at Pittsburgh.
Yeah, look at Pittsburgh.
When they were riding high at that point because that defense was playing at a high level. Baker put up 300 yards and 3 touchdowns and 48 points at Pittsburgh.
Can I ask you a question, Skip? Hold on.
He's a bust, says Shannon Sharpe.
Hold on. I'll just make sure I'm hearing you correctly. You say over the last 11 games, he graded the 4th best quarterback.
He did.
Did he have a new receiving core? Was Peoples-Jones? Was Jarvis Landry? Was any of those guys that are currently there on the roster then? Oh, interesting.
Yep.
Interesting. You see how you gave them no credit. You said Baker was graded 4th. You didn't mention his receiver core. Now he playing like some stir fry. You know what? You blame it on Jarvis. You blame it on Peoples-Jones. You blame it on Njoku. You blame it on everybody except where the responsibility lies, and that is the quarterback.
Boy, Baker looked like a franchise quarterback last year, didn't he?
I know what he looked like on criminal.
Somebody across the table from me was really quite a little church mouse.
I know
all those 11 weeks. I didn't hear anything about
I don't
Baker.
know about last year, but I know what he looked like on criminal day.
Yeah,
everybody saw it.
Yeah, he looked pretty good. Thank you.
All right,
Thank you.
Let's switch gears
Appreciate
to
that.
another dynamic duo. Antonio Brown returned to the field in the Bucs' 32-6 win over the Panthers. AB was targeted 15 times by Tom Brady and hauled in 10 catches for 101 yards. Afterwards, he was asked by reporters about his suspension, but the former All-Pro wasn't in a mood to talk about it. Take a listen.
Next question. We just want to talk about this game. We don't want to waste no time with you guys writing bogus.
Respectfully, Antonio, we haven't talked to you yet.
Yeah, but I don't want to talk about that. You guys is all drama. It's all about football. We don't talk about Carolina. I don't want to talk to you guys. It's a lot of drama. You guys create. A lot of drama that people create who want stuff from me. But that's just a part of life. It's a part of being in the position I'm in. I can't control what people want from me. I can't control what people write about me. I can't control what people say about me. All I could do is get up every day, be the best person I could be, and when I get a chance to do my job the best way I could do it, and that's where we at today.
Shannon, what is your reaction to what he said?
AB is a clown. It's always somebody else's fault. AB, the media didn't write that you got a fake vaccination card without you going to get a fake vaccination card. What transpired with AB in Pittsburgh is documented. They talked about it. They asked him about it. He goes to the Raiders and continued that bull jive.
He did.
And everything that's happened in AB's life in the NFL, AB is at fault. And somehow he wants to make the media writing about his transgressions in the NFL that's self-inflicted, that we're creating drama. You creating drama. You got on Facebook Live after a game from the locker room, dumb head.
He did.
You refused to come to practice in Pittsburgh. You showed up late for meeting. That was you. You was the one that went into the hyperbaric chamber with wet feet and got frostbite. That was you, dum-dum. They told you a year in advance, you are not going to be allowed to use this helmet. Everybody else, even Tom Brady, even Aaron Rodgers, started transitioning to different helmets. AB thought, I'm wearing my helmet. They say, you're not getting on the field with that helmet. Everybody else come down there for a walkthrough. They have a walkthrough in the ballroom at the hotel in Oakland. Ask AB, is this media created? They had a walkthrough in the ballroom in the hotel. AB sat in his hotel room, refused to come down. But that's our fault. He goes to New England. Tom Brady says, we'll take him.
You
Coach,
forgot he cursed out the GM.
Oh, yeah, and called him a C word, saltine, called him a saltine. But you know what came after saltine.
Yes.
Okay, but we created that.
Yep.
He goes to New England. Coach, Mr. Kraft, coach, that like sign off on the Tom, like I'm happy.
Yep.
And then what does he do? Something that he had no business doing. He goes to Tampa. He's throwing furniture off the deck and almost hits a little kid. That's him.
And then the moving van.
The moving van. He filed the moving van because they say you're charging me too much.
And there was assault and battery allegation. Yep.
I just don't get this guy. He makes it seem like they're picking on him when he constantly does things that put himself in the front line, Skip, of these things. AB, all you had to do was just go get the vaccine like you got after you presented the fake vaccine card. If you do that from the beginning, if you pay your debt, everybody, all these debts that you've incurred, you refuse to pay, and so people got information on you, they're like, you ain't gonna pay? Well, let me tell you what AB tried to do. Let me tell you what he did. Bruh, this ain't no media creation. You created this. What do you expect them to do? Just regard it? They covered it up for the longest time in Pittsburgh. You see, Pittsburgh still have no problem with receivers.
They are.
Because Mike Tomlin condones that said behavior.
He does.
He let him get away with it, let Juju get away with
Yep.
it. Not Claypool, McLeod, all them doing the same thing. AB, bro, clown. This ain't no media creation. That's an Antonio Brown creation. And the media is reporting about what you've done.
Yep.
That's it.
I cannot tell you how much I agree with every word you just spoke. I thank you for all the words you just spoke, because they are as true can be. We don't have enough time left on this show to detail all the other allegations and legal issues through which Antonio has tried to navigate. A couple of more quotes from that same interview we just saw. I can't control what people write, how people try to frame me. People try to bring me down as if they're trying to fabricate the facts to frame. What? You can't. I couldn't make it up.
Right.
How bad it has gotten. He concludes, life is about obstacles and persevering and doing what's right.
When have you done that?
You called him a clown. That's just straight comedy right there. That's like Saturday Night Live routine, right? And it's straight delusional. But here's my takeaway from this. And I first guessed this last week when Bruce Arians lost all his power, because I do believe in his heart of hearts, he wanted to say no to Antonio because he'd already made it zero tolerance. A fake vaccination card is a federal offense. It's a felony offense. And because I believe Tom Brady told Bruce Arians, I got to have him. And because Antonio got yet another great break, quote unquote, Chris Godwin went down and out for the season. All of a sudden, they had to have him back.
Mike Evans' hamstring.
They were desperate for him. They're still vying for the 1 seed. They're trying to close the deal on winning the first division they've won since 2007. And Brady said, I got to have him back.
Right.
I believe in this kid on the football field. I'll figure him out. I'll try to help him stay just in bounds off the field.
It's one of those situations, we're going to keep him eligible until the season's over with, and then you can do what you need to do with him, B.A.
Okay.
But let's try to finish this off.
I would have cut bait with him if I had been running this show.
Absolutely.
I'm disappointed in Brady that he didn't want to cut bait. And yet, not only did Brady not cut bait, what did he do yesterday on the football field?
15.
He threw him 15 balls. He said, I am all in with little number 81. I'm going to force feed him the football. I'm going to get him quickly back up to speed because he only played the first 5 games, so he's been out a good while.
Right.
And he actually, I got to give it up, he actually looked pretty good yesterday. He did Antonio Brown. But Brady is showing you it's Antonio or bust. And what happens when you tell Antonio Brown, you send him the message, you are our savior. We are all in for you. What starts to happen? He starts to act up and act out because he is empowered. He's got the world by the tail again. He's got you by the you-know-what. Here we go, right? So if we could see quickly what Brady did to Antonio yesterday, can we see the balls that he caught yesterday? This is a tour de force. He's just saying, I don't care how many people, you can double cover him, you can triple cover him. He's doubled on that play. I'm throwing it to him. He's doubled on that play. I'm just going to throw it to 81. Throw it to 81 on a little quick screen. I'm going to throw it. This is the best throw of the day. That was 3rd and 13. So that was a gunshot right there from Brady. And he got knocked down on that one. They're just trying to get him loose because he can run after catch. These are his 10 catches on 15 targets. That was a nice throw. That's on Stephon Gilmore. And there's an out. Couldn't hold on. And there we go again on Gilmore. He wasn't afraid of Gilmore at all. Tom wasn't. He's just saying, I'm going to throw it to him. Yep, there you go. Okay, so that gives you the idea. Tom's just saying it's all you, because guess who has now landed in Tom Brady's doghouse for, I'm going to guess, the first time in their long, lengthy relationship. Gronk is in the doghouse.
Because he threw like 2 targets.
Okay, what happened against New Orleans in that debacle of a disaster of a nightmare? He threw him, remember, 11 balls. He caught 2 for 29, and Brady's down on him because he threw him the 2. He caught the 1 ball, but then he threw him the 1 in the back of the end zone, if we could see this. And it looked pretty catchable to me. Little fade to the back of the end zone. It looked pretty catchable. And then if we could see, we'll see it in just a second. Doesn't he catch that usually? I don't know. It looked like it hit him right in the hands. What is he doing? That's Brady. He's walking aside. What is he doing? Well, that was the last we saw of Gronk. in that game. So my point is, it's AB has gone from, is he going to get cut because it's zero tolerance to it's AB or bust?
Well, Skip, we talked about it. And I say, Skip, I think he's going to get 10 to 12 targets.
You did. You said it.
He got 15. He got even more than I thought. I knew he was going to get 10 to 12.
15 targets.
15 targets.
Tom has said, you're it, my man. So say what you want. Tell the media off after the game.
Skip, can I ask you a question? So when the NFL suspended AB for 3 games, we created that, huh?
That's a good point.
That's us.
Yeah.
We did that.
Suspended. Yep. Okay.
So what? I just want to know one thing. In what we're discussing, in what we're writing, and what we're talking about on television, AB, what role did you play in us having a topic of conversation? I just want to know the role that you played in us having a discussion, or people writing about you in the paper or online. What role did you play?
Framing you, trying to bring you down.
People framed him.
Frame.
You know, people go to jail for blackmail and framing. You know, you go to jail for that. Just like you could have gone to jail with that fake vaccination card.
Yep. Could have.
AB, why, I don't know why he will not just own up to the responsibilities. Why he just said, I messed up. I get it. You don't want to talk about it. But, bruh, you were suspended for 3 games, and it's something always follows him, Skip.
I agree. So, you know how much I love Tom Brady. You know how much I liked the Buccaneers going into the season. I picked them to win it all back to back. I do not love this. And to me, not only will AB not be the reason they go and win a back-to-back Super Bowl, I believe he's now become the biggest reason why they well might not win a Super Bowl. Because when you make him position A, number one receiver, and you are struggling with the injuries to others, and Gronk's in the doghouse, I think you're in for trouble. That's just me.
Well, I think the thing is, Skip, this is not the same team. They're not the same team that played the last 8 games down the stretch of the regular season and going into the playoffs. They're not that team. Injuries, but a lot of that has to do with, Skip, they just haven't met the expectations that they set for themselves. Forget what we thought they were going to be, because everybody came back. Skip, they came back for one thing, to run it back. That's what Brie said at the parade. Everybody was talking about, we running it back. Everybody, we going to get this gang back together. And for whatever reason, early on, they haven't looked like the same team that we saw coming down the stretch last year. Now, maybe they flip a switch. Maybe they get guys healthy, but it seems like Shaq Barrett is down now. He might miss some time.
He might.
They got 7 sacks yesterday. I mean, we talked about AD and they didn't really get a chance to talk about how bad Cam and Sam Darnold played and the Carolina Panthers played yesterday. But I'm sure we're going to get to that in a little bit. But, Skip, AB need to stop with this. This ain't no drop. Ain't nobody trying to frame you, bro. Nobody care that much about you. We just got to do our job. Ain't nobody trying to frame you and get what?
That's what happens when the GOAT quarterback throws you 15 balls in one game. That's what you're going to get after the game. There you go.
Yeah, man, say they tried to frame him.
Yep.
You tried to frame that fake vaccination card. If you'd have paid the man, nobody would have never knew, Skip. All he had to do was just pay that man $2,500, $3,500. Think about what it cost you. He's probably making minimum, so he's probably making $3-4 million.
Yep.
$3-4 million.
And then there's a story about incentives that he could make to get him an extra $1 million.
Well, you know, Tom gonna get him that.
He's trying to yesterday.
I don't know, Skip. He might have too few games to get him what he actually needs. But you best believe, remember last year, Skip, he had those incentives, and Tom threw him like 8, 10 balls the last game of the season. Make sure he gets those numbers. But AB needs to stop with this. Bro, ain't nobody trying to set you up, bro. You just keep doing foolishness.
Tom Brady loves Antonio Brown, maybe to a fault.
Tom Brady loves winning. The one thing I can honestly say Tom Brady loves more than anything is winning. I'm sure he loves his family, but Skip, he gonna prioritize winning. We've seen that. He prioritizes winning.
At all
costs.
Yeah.
No mercy. The Lakers were down by as many as 23 points to the Nets on Christmas Day before storming back to tie in the final minute of the fourth quarter. However, the Nets then stepped on the gas with a big alley-oop over LeBron that kicked off 7 straight points to escape with a 122-115 win, giving the purple and gold their 5th straight loss. So, Shannon, what's the biggest reason the Lakers couldn't finish off the comeback?
Well, Skip, they dug themselves just to hold that. And I give them credit because I did not even see them making the game of this. They got down 23. Patty Mills couldn't miss. James Harden turned back into James Harden, Skip. And I just didn't see them making a game of it. I was like, man, let me just go ahead and watch a little bit more. And then all of a sudden, they took Russ out. And a funny thing happened.
It was a funny thing. I agree.
They go on a 17-0 or a 19-0 run and get back into the ball game.
They did.
And LeBron, 39 points on 14 of 25, 8 of 9 from the free throw line, 9 rebounds, 7 assists, 3 steals, only had 3 turnovers. In the 40 minutes in which LeBron was on the court, Skip, they're +9. In the 8 minutes he's off the court, they're -16. In the fourth quarter, LeBron, 13 points, 6 assists, 2 steals, 27 of the 33 points that they scored, LeBron was responsible for. His 14 points on assists, Skip, was the second most of any player in the fourth quarter this season. And guess what? Russ, 4 for 20, got blocked by the rim to cap off a 1 for 10 in the second half. Skip, the pieces don't work. You see that, I see that, everybody sees that. THT plays his best ball when he has the ball in his hand. If you remember, Skip, when LeBron wasn't there and THT could handle the ball, he was giving you 20, 18, 20, 24, and once had 28. But LeBron, he's not an off-the-ball player. Russ, it just doesn't fit. Think about this, and this is what I want people to understand, Skip, and I know you understand this. Of all the contending teams, only one, every team that we think are contending, only one wanted Russell Westbrook, the Lakers. All the Nuggets, the Spurs, the Warriors, the Nets, this one, that one, the Sixers, only one. Let that sink in. This is not a fringe player. Skip, this is an all-NBA 75th anniversary team member. And only one. That should tell you, Skip, he's convinced us that the triple-double is the end-all, be-all.
That is true.
And because he got a triple-double, we've overlooked the turnovers. He was getting 11, 12 assists, but he'd have 8, 9 turnovers.
He would.
You can win some. If he's on a bad team, Skip, he'll win you some games. But he's not. Think about it. OKC says, nah, you know what? They traded him for Chris Paul. They say, we'll take Chris Paul. You go ahead. We take Chris Paul.
Well, we thought Chris Paul was washed up.
And look what he did.
Yep.
Skip, what else can LeBron do? The man playing 40 minutes, Skip. He's giving you 30 on a nightly basis, shooting 51%. The dude is averaging 27.5, 7-7. On almost 52% shooting. He's shooting 77%, 78% from the free throw line. I don't really know what else he can do. I really don't. The biggest reason they lost, they're not any good.
Okay, I'm going to be harshly honest about this. There was a little more that LeBron could have done to bring this game home on Saturday evening. But before I get to that, I will agree with you, and I first guessed this. There's no way that LeBron and AD, when he comes back, and Melo and all the rest, you can't overcome that guy, number 0 for 0 rings. You just can't. He's a disaster waiting to happen. And to your point, they were down 23 early in the fourth quarter, thanks to Patty Mills. And all of a sudden, they go on a 31-8 run. Think about that. And most of it without Westbrook. And you could just see it all. The pieces suddenly fit because LeBron was running the floor show, and he was all-time sensational. He scored 13 points in that 31-8 run. Really good. And he orchestrated, and he got Malik Monk loose for the tying. It was just a layup. I mean, it was a pretty easy pass for LeBron. Pick and roll, yep. But he made it because Westbrook can't make that pass.
No.
And Malik just kind of goes up and under and lays it in. And we are tied at 115 all, right?
Yep.
With what? 45 seconds left. Okay. Way to go, LeBron. You got us all the way back. Now, before I get to this, big picture takeaway. I will take Patty Mills over Russell Westbrook any day or night, and I will beat you because Patty Mills is a deadly clutch 3-point and distance shooter.
Right.
Even a distant 2-point shooter.
Yeah.
He is a jump shooter with winner's intangibles. He was always my favorite in the dynasty years. Duncan, Parker, Ginobili, and little Patty would come in. And what happened in 2014 when my Spurs blew your Heat off the floor by a record finals margin? Guess who was the primary perpetrator? Was little Patty Mills. He's 5'11", from Australia. He just knows how to play basketball. Russell Westbrook has no idea how to win basketball games. He only knows how to play hard, mostly on the offensive end. He knows how to get offensive rebounds the way nobody can.
Give me a guy that plays smart, and I'll beat your guy that plays hard.
That's correct. He's obviously a turnover machine, but he's just a solo act of a stat machine. That's all he is. He's just interested in stats. Losing doesn't bother him. What was his quote? couple of weeks back.
Yeah, the sun going to come up tomorrow.
It is. The sun's going to come up. He's a slam dunk first ballot Hall of Famer, and all he knows is heaven's open, and I went home. Mm-hmm. I'm now the point guard for my Los Angeles Lakers that I grew up living and dying for in L.A.
You know what? Kevin Durant should have been the best player in the NBA for having to deal with that for a decade.
Thank you.
Let that sink in for a second.
Agreed.
Kevin Durant stomached this for an entire decade.
Thank
that
you.
Alone, you
Yep.
know what? I apologize for anything I might have said about Kevin Durant. I didn't realize until he played with other players that's comparable. To see him play alongside LeBron James and for Kevin Durant to do what he did.
Yep. I said it again and again and again. Even when Kevin left, I didn't blame him a bit. By the way, for the game, Patty Mills was a plus 19 the other night. Russ was a minus 23. That's it. Boiled down. Okay. Now, I'm asking a lot of LeBron because he showed me a lot in the fourth quarter. But you mentioned that James Harden was cooking again. He wasn't through the fourth quarter.
No.
He lost it in the fourth quarter. He was 0 for 5 at this point. He'd missed all 5 of his shots, and he had 3 turnovers. Mm-hmm. And he was the primary perpetrator of the 31-8 run because he just couldn't. He couldn't find the handle, and he couldn't find the basket.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's 115 all, and we come back to the other end, and LeBron did get posterized by a 22-year-old named Nick Claxton, who's
he elevated.
Yeah.
He was late on the rotation.
Okay.
You see where he is?
I don't know what he's. He's supposed to come over and help. He's supposed to come help. Okay, I wasn't sure about this, but he's supposed to come help. Okay, I always say LeBron's got the highest IQ in basketball. At this moment, Nick Claxton is 9 of 18 for the year from the free throw line. So he's made half of his free throws. The basketball play is you're just going to have to hard foul him. You're just going to have to go wrap him up and bear hug him and just don't let him finish off the dunk.
Right.
And I'm not blaming. I don't think he got posterized. It's just he was slightly late because he's just trying. I think he's exhausted at this point.
Oh, we're playing 40 minutes.
He's given a lot. He's given a lot in that 31-8 run. But the point is, you got to make Nick Claxton shoot those free throws. Well, to his credit, he got the and one, and he goes and makes it. So he's now 10 of 19 for the year. Mm-hmm. Not very good. But who is he? I mean, he's 6'11". He's 22 years old, and they use him sparingly. They use him here and there.
He'll protect the rim. He'll run to the front of the rim. Okay. He'll do what he just did. He'll dunk the ball home. He'll get some layup, but he'll challenge you at the rim.
So now let's frame this. As you just mentioned, Kevin Durant, there's no KD. There's no Kyrie on Saturday night. There's no Joe Harris. He's out with an ankle surgery. There's no LaMarcus Aldridge, who probably would have been in the game for Nick Claxton at that point. And Blake Griffin has somehow fallen completely. Even without all those guys, he played 7 minutes and scored 0 points.
Yeah.
Blake Griffin? Seriously. Okay. So he's completely out of the rotation.
Yes.
Okay. So now let's go to the end of what happens after the and one. Now we come down with 26 seconds left, and help me out. How does Russ even wind up with the basketball to get blocked by the rim? Because this is LeBron's possession. Let LeBron shoot this. I don't care what you say. That's LeBron's starting to go up and under. But there's got to be a way where LeBron just says, just get out of my way. I'm just going to shoot it.
Well, the thing was, Skip, he was trying to drive the lane, and then he saw Carmelo for a 3. He said, well, there's Melo. It got deflected, and somehow the basketball god said, we're going to deflect this ball right to Russ.
Right to Russ. But my point is, I just want LeBron. He's scored 13 points so far. He is your best bet. You're down 3 at that point.
Right.
Your best bet, if he wants to pull up and take a 3, I'm fine with that. If he wants to drive it and shoot the free throws, I'm fine with that. Just score the basketball somehow, some way, because the game has become your game.
Right.
It's not Russ's game, and I don't want Russ to go hell bent to the basketball to the basket.
How many layups did he miss on Saturday?
Horrendous.
I mean, Skip, we're not talking about. We're not talking about
4 of 20.
Yeah,
4 of 20.
And he probably missed 5 layups.
In fact, I almost asked to put a tape together of his 16 missed shots.
No.
I just can't do it anymore because it's hard to watch. That's just ugly basketball. So in the end, LeBron comes back down. So James then he got the rebound and got fouled. Well, James will do one thing at the end of the game. As bad as he'd been, he marched to the free throw line, and he did something that LeBron sometimes struggles with. He made the 2 free throws. Right. So now you're down 5, and you come back down, and if we could see the final possession, LeBron went ahead and took the 3 right here He just says, I got to do this. I got to do that. That's a hard shot, highly contested, and his legs are about gone, and he's short. So it was up to LeBron to bring them home. I'm asking a lot, but he'd shown me a lot. So in the end, they lose their 4th game in a row. And what have they fallen to? I've lost track of this.
16 and 18.
16 and 18. Now, they're 2 games under 500. They got what should be an easy game at Houston, but I don't think it'll be easy.
Nah, not with those young guys. Young guys give them a problem, Skip. But think about it. Skip, if I told you at the beginning of the season, I say, Skip, LeBron's going to be averaging 27, 7, and 7. You wouldn't have believed it. Nobody would believe this man is playing as well as he's playing, especially Skip the last 10 games. He has like 7 to 8 last 12 games. 7 to 8 of those games have been 30-point games.
They have. Well, he's leading the league in scoring over the last 8 games by far.
Yeah.
And guess what they are? They're 3 and 5.
3 and 5.
God.
And since Skip, when you play a team that has another superstar, okay, let's just say for the sake of argument, James Harden and LeBron cancel each other out. And that's what they did. One had 39. James Harden had a 34-point triple-double.
Yep.
Now it comes to your superstar. Patty Mills is not a superstar. No. He's a very good role player, and I said,
he's a very good role player.
I say that's a very unsung signing. I say the shot that Joe Harris was missing last year, Patty Mills won't miss those.
No, he doesn't miss.
So you put Kyrie, KD, and James Harden.
I mean, look what Patty did in the 4th quarter. 3 of 3 from 3. Okay, go ahead.
And that was the difference, Skip.
Yeah, it was.
Russ has to offset. They brought Russ in for one reason, Skip, to offset the load of LeBron handling the ball, LeBron scoring. So if LeBron's not out there, Russ can bring us home. If AD's out, LeBron and Russ can bring us home.
Yep.
Russ has not fulfilled his end of the deal.
Yep.
THT has regressed this year because he doesn't play well off the ball.
Nope.
Everything across the board is down for AD. It is what it is.
So how did they make their run? Who was on the floor? Malik Monk made all 4 of his 4th quarter shots. He plays. LeBron likes him.
Yes,
there's a good click there.
Because he can play off the ball. He understands. They play pick and roll together.
They do, and he can shoot the 3. He can drive it. And Melo actually played pretty well in the 4th quarter because he gets LeBron's game.
I just want Melo to stop getting technicals. Melo get a technical every
that was
run.
Ridiculous. What are you doing?
And then Darren Collison, Skip, how you give up 2 4-point plays in back-to-back possession?
Well, because you haven't played in like 5 years, right?
Stanley Johnson came in and gave us some. I mean, he tried, Skip. I mean, Stanley Johnson 2 of 4. He was plus 6, gave us 7 points. But Russ got to be better. Everybody got to be better. But it's not working, Skip. It's not working. It's not.
He's got to go. Seriously, they got to
go
figure
where?
out someone. I don't know. They just got to figure a way out from under.
Skip,
Russ Broussard brought up the idea: would Detroit take him just as a marquee value? Just as box office?
Yeah, and give us Jeremy Grant.
Maybe.
Skip, Russ is that pretty girl that arrived at high school, and you like, oh my God, oh man, if she was my girl, I'd treat her like a queen. She'd be everything. And as soon as you get her. That's how Russ is everywhere. Skip, everybody, man, look how hard he played. He rebounded, he assists, yada, yada, yada. And then when you get him, you realize why all the other dudes left said beautiful girl.
Yep.
Now you realize why all the other said teams said, nah, we good without you.
He has mystique, but it's very misleading mystique.
Skip, I don't care what the dish. If I give you a dessert, Skip, and I just put a sliver of onion, you're going to be able to taste it, aren't you? Russell Westbrook, just a sliver of him on your team, you'll be able to taste it.
Yep, I agree.
That's him.
Yep.
It is what it is, Skip.
And onions give me indigestion.
They don't give me nothing because I don't want them on nothing I eat.
No mercy. In 5 days, it's a stacked night of 5 heavyweight fights headlined by Luis Ortiz taking on Charles Martin live on pay-per-view at a special price of only $39.99. Buy now on the Fox Sports app or scan the QR code on your screen. Now, after giving up an early touchdown in the 2nd quarter, Washington football team defensive tackle Jonathan Allen threw a punch at a teammate on the sideline and had to be separated. Afterwards, Allen tried to dismiss the scuffle, saying, quote, I don't think it takes a rocket scientist. If you look at how that game went, emotions are high, things happen. But Shannon, have you ever seen anything like this?
Yep, and it happens more times than people realize. I think the thing is now, Skip, is that because they have more cameras on the sideline and so many guys are just mic'd up, you're able to catch things now. But in the heat of a moment, when emotion and passion is high and things are not going according to plan, Yeah, playing. Yeah, things like this happen, Skip. And at the end of the day, respect is everything. If you do not have that, we don't have anything. And at the end of the day, Skip, that's a man. You can do all that talking. Come on, man. That's your gap. You got to make that play. But the moment Payne put his finger in that man's temple,
he did.
Allen didn't have any choice. And he didn't really want to fire him up because he knew him. They played together at Alabama, Skip.
2 years, yeah.
We go way back, bruh. But teammate or no teammate, you go respect me now. I got homeboys, but there's a level of respect that's going to be there. And so that's what you saw happen, Skip. So absolutely. And people are like, well, if Ron Rivera, coaches know you don't cross that line. That's a grown man. Respect is everything. And ain't nobody sitting on any NFL sideline afraid of anybody else. Even if you got to take one, I can't let you punk me, Skip. I can't, and that's the thing. Whether we playing cards, we shooting basketball, I used to tell guys all the time, look here, man, we gonna do all this trash talking, but we gonna keep our hands to ourselves. On the sideline, Skip, yeah, I'll get upset. Come on, line. But I'm not putting my hands on nobody because I don't want nobody to put their hands on me. But unlike Allen, I ain't gonna just throw one puncher. I'm gonna throw a barrage. Because you're not finna put on national TV. You put your hand in that man's face on national TV and expected him to do what? Like, okay, man, yeah, you right. That ain't gonna happen, Skip. So I am not surprised whatsoever that's happened. I've seen it happen. I've seen players shove coaches to the ground. And not because they touched them, because they was talking to them like they were less than a man. So, I'm not surprised at all, Skip. Not at all. And I've seen guys fight in the locker room and go back out there and they friends the next day. But, hey, you got to respect that man.
Okay, I hear everything you just said. And on ground rules, I'm with you. But in all my years of covering your game, I started in 1975 writing stories about Don Shula's Miami Dolphins. I have never, ever heard of or certainly seen a punch thrown helmetless player to helmetless player on the sideline, teammate to teammate. I've not seen a punch or ever heard of a punch on the sideline. You might have seen one that didn't make it to camera. I know all kinds of stories about locker room fights.
Oh, absolutely.
All kinds of.
And practice.
The greatest story ever was when Clint Longley, the upstart backup quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys he threw the Thanksgiving Day pass to Drew Pearson that beat the then Washington, you know who's. And that next camp, Clint Longley sucker punched the great Roger Staubach at training camp in the locker room in Thousand Oaks, California, at Cal Lutheran College, where I used to go every summer. And Roger said, you and I out back behind this locker room, little concrete building, and he just beat the hell out of him. Okay, so that's a locker room fight. But I don't know of one. Maybe you saw one, but no one ever told me about one on the sideline. And to your point, cameras are everywhere now, so we get it all. And when I saw Jonathan Allen fire with his right, at first glance, I thought he caught him flush, but apparently it just grazed him.
He didn't try to hit him flush.
Okay, maybe he didn't. Maybe he didn't aim because if he'd wanted to aim, I think blood would have spilled, man.
Yeah,
because that's a big man.
Because Skip, you know how he didn't want to hit him because he only fired one time. He didn't really want to fire up on him because, like I said, I know him. But you disrespected me, knowing that you know me.
Yep, I agree. So I get that. And frustration was running hot and heavy because they're down 28-7 to their arch rival at Dallas.
Right. So I'm already frustrated,
and
Skip.
It's on national TV, and you know it. And yet you're the guy. Jonathan Allen was taken 13th overall in 2018, and he just made the Pro Bowl. So he's a Pro Bowler.
Right.
And
Payne was taken the year before, right?
It was the year before. He was the 17th overall, but he has not made a Pro Bowl. So the better player is Jonathan Allen. So you got that operating where the lesser player is he's just chewing him out. He's laying down the law to him.
You are best player. You're not playing like it.
Right. And he's pointing, and then he pokes him in the side of the head.
You can't punch that man in his face like that.
Okay, that's it. Now you've crossed the line. But usually, when you're a team leader like Jonathan Allen, you you just bite your tongue.
Hell no.
You jump up in his face, but you don't fire on him. I just never see it. And Sam Mills III is the defensive line coach, and he tries to intervene. But here's the bottom line stunner to me. Nobody told Ron Rivera that happened. He's the head coach of the Washington football team, and nobody told him, and he said he found out in the locker room after the game. I was dumbfounded by that, because if I ran that show, I would want somebody to whisper in my ear, you got a problem over there that needs to be addressed.
Right.
They did go back on the field side by side and sit in that defensive formation, and they played the rest of the game without incident. Right. And then they, to their credit, both of them spoke to the media after the game, which was a surprise to me, like a pleasant surprise.
And both of them said, look, we take responsibility for what happened.
They did.
And that's how it's supposed to be. Skip, I get it. What you're saying is that Allen has the captaincy on his jersey, and he's supposed to take, no, but at the end of the day, captaincy aside, I'm still a man now.
No,
I came here, Skip, Skip, you've been around it too long. You know how men are.
I got it. I definitely got it. And they said they're brothers. I don't know how close they really are. But they said brothers fight. You got a brother? You fight? Yeah.
Even me and my brother, Skip.
Yeah.
There's a level of respect there. There are certain things that I'm not going to do to him. There are certain things he's not going to do to me. My best friend, Bucket, Burns, we cool. But that is a man, and always keep a man's stay in his place. That ain't no child. That ain't somebody you think you can pump.
Yep.
Because I'm telling you what's going to happen. Skip, I've seen the small running backs fight D linemen, offensive linemen, because they think because of their size, I can mush you in your face or I can do something to you.
I got it.
No, bro. I can't have that.
So are you as shocked as I am that Rivera was not told about it?
I am surprised by that, because normally when things like that happen, somebody goes to the coach, be a trainer or somebody's like, hey, this is what just transpired on the sideline. Coach got shoved, yada, yada. Yeah, I mean, I've seen players push coaches' ass to the ground.
Yep.
Who you think you... I mean, you ain't trying to fire no 55, 60-year-old man, Skip.
Yep.
But I'm saying, I'm not a child.
I got it.
That's why, Skip, that's why everybody... Remember I told you how Urban put his foot on that guy? You see what would have happened? You see what you put your foot on the right when you see what happened?
Got it. I once saw Buddy Ryan as an assistant at Houston take a big swing at Kevin Gilbride. Right?
And Houston Oilers.
Yeah, Houston
If I'm not mistaken, Jack Pardee was the head coach back then.
I believe he was.
I remember.
So that happened.
Yeah.
But this was, man.
Yeah.
Whew.
Yeah. Coaches don't really fight. They might yell and scream at each other because somebody missed an assignment, But, yeah, I'm not surprised by this at all. I don't think Allen really wanted to swing on him, but Payne put him in a situation where he had no choice because he felt that, man, you disrespected me on that. Skip, my grandma used to tell my brother and I, wherever you show out, you get woe out. Wherever the disrespect happens, we're going to address it right then and there. Ain't no, well, why you do that? No, you didn't wait till to disrespect me behind closed doors, so I'm going to address it in front of public.
Did he ever?
I believe, Skip, hey, they talked about it, bro. You know I'm wrong. Hey, you hug it out. You move forward.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
The bottom line to this is he threw, but he pulled his punch.
Yeah, he wasn't trying to hit him. Skip. He grazed him. He could have hit him dead in his eye.
Could have. Oof.
He could have hit him flush. But, he ain't want to hit him. That's a teammate. I know, bro, that's my dog. I can't believe. My thing was, man, did he just do it? I can't believe he did that, Skip. We boys.
Yeah, because Dron Payne was fine after it happened. Like, there was no blood, no foul.
Yeah, he thought like, I don't know why I did that. I don't know why I did. But that's just the way it is. I don't care. Skip, when we talk about professional athletes, yes, there's a lot of adrenaline going and more times more. But even on a 9 to 5, somebody by the water cooler, you can't put your finger on a man's face and not expect that man to slap the taste out your mouth.
Got it. Agreed.
Keep your hands to yourself.
No mercy. The Bills' 33-21 victory over the Pats was highlighted by night and day QB play. Josh Allen rifled in 3 touchdowns, while Mac Jones was held scoreless and threw 2 picks. Buffalo has now taken the lead in the AFC East thanks to a tiebreaker over New England. So, Shannon, did Belichick and the Patriots get exposed?
No, they didn't get exposed, Skip. This was about what Buffalo did really, really well. I thought the Patriots defense, will play better than what they played, Skip. But give Josh Allen credit, Skip. The guy can make plays. We know he can make plays with his arms, but he was making plays with his legs. Buying time, the Patriots just couldn't get off the field. You look at Skip, they were 6 of 12 on third down, 6 of 12 on third down, 3 or 4 on fourth down, and 3 of those drives led to touchdown. Skip, when that happens,
what were the Patriots on third down?
The Patriots were terrible on third down. They were 1 of 10 on third down.
There you
but
go.
They were 5 of 6 on fourth down because they were behind. They kept having to go for it, Skip. But Josh Allen was sensational yesterday, Skip. He ran the ball 12 times for 64 yards. He was 30 of 47 for 314, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. And the Patriots offense, Skip, isn't built to come from behind. Not a 10, 13-point deficit in which they were under basically all day. They had a 10-point lead at the half, a 13-point lead at the end of the third quarter. So now you take the ball out of those running backs' hands and place it in Mac Jones' hands. And this is not an explosive offense. Skip, they want a nickel and dime, little bubble screen, jailbreak screens, throw the ball shallow crosses. They're not an explosive offense that can push the ball down the field and get you a big play quickly. Say like Kansas City. Or even like Buffalo, some of these teams that have the Rams have quick strike offenses. That's not what the Patriots are. They want to play great defense, run the football, and minimize Mac Jones' involvement in the game. Well, yesterday, Buffalo said, you know what? We got the lead. We're going to make you put the ball in Mac Jones' hands. Ain't going to be no more of this 50 times running the football for 200-plus yards. Once the Buffalo got the lead by double digits, now you force the ball back in Mac Jones' hands.
Yep.
So I don't think it was something that the Patriots couldn't get off the field on third downs, but I think I want to give Buffalo a little bit more credit than saying it's over for Coach Belichick and the Patriots.
Over as in get to the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I think they can make the playoffs. I think they'll make the playoffs. You think they'll make the playoffs?
In the AFC, you should. NFC is a different story. Shannon Sharpe. Coach Belichick and Mac Jones got exposed yesterday by Buffalo in the same way they should have been exposed in that Monday night windstorm game at Buffalo. I came in here the next day after that game and I said, Josh Allen had opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. Just make one play. It was a one-play game because it wound up 14-10 New England. Just make one throw, one play with your legs, just something. Give me one big play. You're going to win that game. He had a QBR that night of 17, scale 0 to 100. Pretty pathetic. Yeah. Yesterday, he probably was 80. He was 70. I got it here somewhere. 70-something. Yeah, maybe he was. No, I think he's 85, actually. I'll find it here in a second. But the point is that in that game that night, Mac Jones was allowed to throw 3 passes and completed 2 little dinks, right? Yeah. And I told you the next day, that's an indictment of that quarterback. I don't care how windy it is. You got to let him throw a few times because you were in grave danger of losing 17-14. And if you had, everybody would have said, you only let the kid throw 3 times? Right. But he got away with it, and he looked like a genius because of it. And I second-guessed it, saying, no, that won't work. And yet, I needed to see more from Josh Allen. And yesterday, I mostly did. Yet, the incredible point about yesterday was that they just got dominated at Foxborough because look at what happened. Time of possession is 35 minutes to 25, as you point out. It's 428 yards to 288. That's domination. Buffalo never punted. Buffalo didn't punt. So Bill Belichick's defense never made Josh Allen's offense punt one time. Couldn't get him off the field. Couldn't get him off the field. That's amazingly bad for that defense because I've told you all year long, for a while, we went about a month on this show, you were driving that bandwagon. That's the best team in the AFC. No, it's not. They're pretty good on defense, but they don't have stars on defense. It's all about the cogs. It's all about the unity. It's all about the design and playing together. I get that. But yesterday, Josh Allen just picked them to pieces, and he did it with his legs from the pocket because most of the good balls he threw were out of the pocket. That's where he's at his best. And some of them were pretty dangerous throws back across. How many flip passes? How many times you see him do that, Skip? But also, you said you want let Mac Jones throw. Well, Coach Belichick says, well, I'm not going to let Mac Jones throw because they can't stop running. Yesterday, they got the lead. Mac Jones had to throw. But Isaiah McKenzie, Skip, made some tremendous catches. And he was in because of what?
Cole Beasley.
COVID Cole, right?
Yep. And he's going to miss next week's game also.
And it did my heart good that a little man once drafted by your Denver Broncos in the 5th round out of your state school, Georgia, who's 5'8", 173 pounds. He's just a kick returner. He actually got his chance. And did he not seize the day?
Yeah.
Whew.
Yeah.
He was the difference in the game.
Cole
right?
Beasley might find himself on the bench when he gets back.
I hope so, because that's just outrageous what he did to his
Good chance he
team.
won't be in Buffalo next year.
Well, I would agree with that. So speaking of Isaiah McKenzie, can we see the first one? And to Sean McDermott's credit, he said, I'm not going to take this field goal. I'm going for it. It's 4th and 2 at the 3 with 6:37 less than the first quarter. And Josh has all day to throw because they couldn't get any heat on him.
They'll rush 3, drop 8.
Yep. This pass is way behind Isaiah McKenzie. And to his credit, he was able to hold and fall backward and make this catch because this is possibly incomplete.
Right.
He is wide open along the back line, and it's not a good throw from Josh Allen.
Right.
But he made a great play on the ball.
Yeah, he did.
Okay, so I give you that. Then let's go to the next one. It's 4th and 1 at the 1, basically 4th and goal. And this is 4:40 left in the second quarter, and Josh beats the rush outside, way to go, and then he throws to Emmanuel and just misses him. He throws it behind him, and they got no points on that possession. They didn't get 3 or 7, and they lived to tell. They still blew him out, okay? So then there's a big play with 9:16 left in the third quarter. This is 2nd and 14 at the 16, if we could see the throw to Kumaro. He's got Kumaro, and, that's the one where he just got
He got hit from behind by Judon.
Yep, he had Kumaro open. He got hit by Judon. That was one of the few plays. Okay, then at the end, he makes the play of the game to me was
the scramble.
It's the run. What's the down and distance? 4th and 1 at the 34. Right. This is a big-time play.
I guarantee you, J.C. Jackson, Coach Belichick is talking to J.C. Jackson. What was that? Skip, what was that what J.C. Jackson was doing?
Because that iced it right there.
Yes. Skip, look at J.C. Jackson.
I don't know.
All he got to do is just come.
I don't know.
He hit his own man.
I don't know.
He's like, I ain't trying to mess up my shoulder. I made the Pro Bowl. I'm about to give me some money.
Josh made a move.
Oh, he can run.
He can run at 6'5".
Yeah.
He's 6 feet 5 inches tall.
Remember that Sunday night game against Kansas City?
Yep.
He had another run where he hurdled a guy.
Well, you mentioned he ran 64 yards. That led them in rushing, right? Okay.
First guy, he's the first quarterback in NFL history to have 100 touchdown passes and 20 touchdown rushes in his first 4 seasons. That tells you the kind of capability that he has. A big-time arm, Skip, you need a big-time arm to play in Buffalo. You know what it's like in Buffalo. Yep. And you're going to get that in the Foxborough, and you're going to get that with the Jets. So it's not like only Miami where you're going to really get some nice weather, especially after October. Yep. So he can do it. He can do it all, Skip.
Okay.
This is a very dangerous team.
Okay. So I couldn't say it better than Mike Jones said it. He's does a great job as the NFL analyst for USA Today. And this is what he wrote about Josh Allen today. And this summed up my feelings about him. Mike Jones writes, no one has ever questioned Allen's arm strength. Give you that.
Right.
No one will ever deny his athleticism. Give you that.
Right.
But in terms of consistency in clutch situations, Allen has always had his doubters across the league. Mike Jones covers the league. He hears it. He knows it.
Yeah.
I've said it repeatedly on this show. You need to show me in big moments that you can do that. And that was his game yesterday, and he did take it over. Well,
like you mentioned the great catch by Isaiah.
Yep.
He puts the ball in front of him. That's a catch. He threw the ball behind Emmanuel Sanders.
He did.
In AFC Championship game or divisional round of championship game, you do that, you might lose. You got to get points in those situations.
Right. So in the end, the guy, what do we call him? Mac Jones?
MJ10?
MJ? Yeah, he dared to call himself and trademark MJ10.
MJ10.
Scale of 1 to 10. I'm going to give MJ10 a 1 yesterday.
He did not play well. He had 2 picks.
You want to talk about a soft armor?
14 to 32.
There are times he just soft arms it. There's not a lot of velocity behind his throws.
No.
So, and to your point, if you can just get ahead, even if you can get ahead 7-0, they start to really struggle.
Yeah.
They still rush for a 149, but you got to make some throws.
Yes.
And look at his bottom line. Look, he didn't even hit 50%.
Nope. 145 because Skip, all the stuff he's a shore fisherman. Yep. Everything he fishes is right around the shore. Yep. He ain't going deep sea fishing.
Josh Allen had an 85 QBR.
Okay, I figred with that kind of rush yard and those kind of touchdowns with with yardage.
Yeah.
But Skip.
But look at Mac Jones, 14 of 32.
Ooh.
That's not exactly Brady-esque. Right?
No, with 2 interceptions.
So, in the end, yesterday was advantage Brady over Belichick.
Oh, man, they played Carolina, man. Come on,
But they
Skip.
won the first division title that they've won in Tampa since 2007. That's 14 years. That's a long time.
Yeah.
What was happening in 2007? Oh, yeah, Brady was setting records in Foxborough, right?
They caught that L by old Eli.
He did. Yeah. No, Belichick caught the.
No, don't do that, Skip. Don't do
He's
that.
the one.
Man,
Brady put him up 14.
14?
14
You was
to
averaging
10.
35.
You're up 14-10 with 2 minutes left, and Eli's got to go 75 yards for a touchdown, and
Yeah.
Belichick allowed that?
He allowed that.
Yeah, he did.
Eli went and did that.
Huh. Well, Belichick's defense.
But Coach Belichick,
spit the bit.
they were counting on Tom getting 35 and just chilling.
Well, he got 14 and it should have been
What is
enough.
14 points?
14 should have stood. That's a 4-point lead with 2 minutes to go.
Well, Coach Belichick, what did they lose yesterday? So that should have been a good enough points yesterday. So if Coach Belichick got 20, that should have been enough, right?
Well, they didn't have the ball very much. I don't even know how they got 20, right?
That's what I'm saying.
Yep. Way to go. Exposed.
No mercy. The Cowboys clinched the NFC East title before taking the field last night thanks to a tiebreaker stemming from the Raiders' victory earlier in the day. And in a coronation of sorts, Dallas then went out and demolished their division rival 56-14, leaving them as the number 2 spot in the NFC and still in the mix for the top overall seed as the regular season winds to a close. Shannon, do you still believe the Cowboys will be one and done in the playoffs?
Well, they could luck up into a nice first-round matchup. If the season ended today, they get the Eagles. I mean, the Eagles. Really, Skip?
So now you're starting to...
No, I mean, really, the Eagles. You want me to put my hopes onto the Eagles. I mean, I thought the Cardinals were going to do something, but now they're falling apart right before our very eyes.
Uh-oh.
Jeez. But Skip, come on now. Let's be real. Okay, your 4-game winning streak. You beat Taysom Hill, you beat Taylor Heineke, you beat Mike Glennon, you beat Taylor Heineke again. If I combine all these guys' attributes together, I still got nothing but a backup quarterback.
Okay.
So which one of these guys is Aaron Rodgers? Which one of these guys is Tom Brady? Which one of these guys is Matthew Stafford? I'm not willing to sit here and say, oh, you guys are back because you beat a bad team. You beat them convincingly. That's what you should have done. But I don't believe any of the team that you beat last night is going to be comparable to any of the team that you could possibly face to get to where you ultimately want to be. That's playing out here on SoFi on February 13th. So for me, yeah, you did what you're supposed to do, but let's not, like the word of Denny Green, if you want to crown them, we'll crown them. But they are who we think they are.
Okay, so you've already disqualified your early prediction that they will be one and done.
Let me see who your matchup is. Now you could match up against the Cardinals. It all depends on where you go because you could be anywhere from 1 through 4. You mess around and get the Cardinals. 49ers will give you a run for your money. But right, you're looking good. You in the catbird seat. I know you all keying over there right now.
I am.
I know. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
I got somebody on the run across the table from me.
All the other teams falling apart. Jimmy G laid an egg because that would have been a prime situation. Now I'm looking at the Eagles.
Jalen Hurts scares me.
Hey, Jalen Hurts don't scare nobody. Stop that.
Scares me. Okay. Shannon Sharpe, I am eye-testing my team last night. I don't even care who the opponent was. It could be the Washington Bullets, the old Bullets or something, right?
Well, they played the Washington Generals last night. You remember the Washington Generals?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Here's what my eyes are telling me. Nobody in this league has the combined firepower and star power on offense and defense that the Dallas Cowboys have as we speak. And it all arrived last night right on time. It all came together in, dare I say, the first real complete game against a decent team, at least an arch rival that until recently had won 4 straight games against the GOAT and Cam when he was hot as fairy tale Cam in Charlotte and Russell Wilson in Seattle, and went to Las Vegas and beat a Derek Carr who had just humiliated and embarrassed us on Thanksgiving at home.
I must have been working at that Thanksgiving Day game.
And then we destroyed what's left of Washington twice. And All I know is I've been telling you from the start, something is very different about this team. And now I'm willing to say it's something very special. And Mike McCarthy made one statement this whole year that I agreed with. And he said, never in my career, and he's been around for a while, have I seen one side of the ball flipped in the offseason the way we flipped our defense. And I think you would have to agree with that.
Yeah, they look good. They look very good.
Okay, because I went into this year predicting Dallas would at least win the NFC East.
Yes.
And yet, in my heart of hearts, I feared my defense because I didn't know what I had yet.
Right.
I told you Randy Gregory I thought was going to be a Pro Bowler. Mm-hmm. And yet, I didn't see Micah coming, not quite yet. And I didn't see DeMarcus Lawrence turning back into that tank.
Turn the D-Law again.
Right? He's D-Law laying down the law. Best pass rush in pro football belongs to my Dallas Cowboys. Number one in takeaways, my Dallas Cowboys. And conversely, you say the offense only complements the defense. My offense is number one in points scored and number one in yards gained. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, this deep into the season, that is hard to accomplish. We did that. We got Dak back on track. We got him back in the saddle last night to the point that I don't fear him. Do I think he's I don't think he's great. Do I think he's better than Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady? I do not. But I think in big games, big moments on national TV, he will come up clutch. He will do enough.
You better hope so.
Yep. Well, I know so.
Because I know. Guess what I didn't hear? When they played the Broncos, I didn't hear you say any of what you said. When they played the Raiders on Thanksgiving, I didn't hear you say any of what you said. When they played the Chiefs, I didn't hear you say any of what you just uttered.
I can do that to every quarterback on this list.
No, you can't.
Do it to Aaron Rodgers.
No, you can't.
Opening day.
No, you can't.
Opening day, help me out.
But what you see since then, 33-2, the number one seed.
Yeah, I see Green Bay has the 14th best offense, the 14th in points scored and 14th in yards.
Let that sink in for just a second, what you just said. You said they had the 14th best offense, 14th best most points scored, and they the number one seed. Tell me why. That guy that's the MVP.
Really? That guy who's averaging 9th most yards passing per game, 9th in the league is the MVP, really?
Right.
He put up a grand total of 202 at home on Christmas Day. Right.
Hold on. What did Tom Brady do? You make it seem like Tom Brady threw for 500. He didn't have no Joe Burrow day.
What was he, 232?
Really?
Pretty good.
Hold on. He was 18 or 30.
Yep.
202. Okay. Really, Skip?
Okay. What did they decide to do right on schedule? Got to get back to balancing it up. What did they do yesterday, Tampa Bay? They said, let's run it a little more than we throw it. So they ran it 31 times and threw it 30 times. And of those 30, half the targets went to AB. He just said, it's AB or bust. Yeah. I'm going to get him right back in sequence, in sync, in rhythm. And here we go. I'm going to throw it to AB and we're going to run it. That's who we are.
That's who y'all are now?
Okay, well, they were down 60% of their offensive production yesterday. They obviously didn't have Godwin and won't have. They didn't have Mike Evans. They didn't have Lombardi-Linney. So that's 60% of their offense they did not have yesterday.
Oh, man.
Right?
I mean, your guy had a 95 QBR and passer rating, and one guy had a 115 with 34, 24, 202, 3 touchdowns, no pick. Your guy had 18 or 30, 232, 1 touchdown. Really? Really?
You like CeeDee Lamb? You like Amari Cooper? I love him at home, and we're going to have a home playoff game. You like Michael Gallup? When you forget about him, all of a sudden he gets loose deep.
Didn't see he dropped another pass yesterday, huh?
I didn't think he dropped it.
I thought he dropped it.
No, I didn't.
I thought he did.
I thought he was beasting.
No, Devontae is beasting.
Oh, okay. I'll give you that. He's a little bit.
OBJ was beasting.
Beasting, 4 catches for 37 yards. We're going to talk about that.
But you know Matt Stafford underthrew him.
Okay. All I know is my defense is contagious with turnovers right now.
Yeah, y'all play.
Right?
Y'all get the turnovers.
Like every time I turn around, I got 2 candidates for Defensive Player of the Year on defense. Okay. I got a cornerback and a pass rusher.
You like Diggs against Devontae?
Yep, I do.
You do?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
And I hope we get to see that at Lambeau because I like my team actually better on the road or even better on the road than I do at home. So all of a sudden, I'm saying, what is not to like? Because I think this team is scaring you to death. Yep. No. There's only one thing I don't like. I don't like Mike McCarthy. And yesterday,
well, he the coach. He ain't going nowhere.
He was a bystander. Right?
Exactly.
Right?
No decision had to be made yesterday.
Yep. That team is motivated by Dakota Rain Prescott.
Okay.
and DeMarcus Lawrence on defense. He is the leader of the defense, so they just take it over,
They
right?
playing well. Skip, I gave them a 10. What more do you want from me?
Well, I want you to back off your one and done.
No.
I think you just did.
It's all about matchups. I mean, you're going to get Skip. Come on, man. Okay, like you said, you might get Philly and then turn around and play Philly the next week. Really?
Mm-hmm. We might get Arizona, and we're going to play them next Sunday, and then we turn around and play
Arizona,
them again.
Skip, you know Arizona. Really? We just saw Arizona lose to Carson Wentz.
Okay. But the point is, you just saw the Dallas Cowboys show you
and y'all lost to the Lions,
tour
too.
de force, right?
Skip, they beat the Washington football team.
What's your eyes tell you?
My eyes tell me Washington, the Generals, are terrible.
Okay, tell me one and done then.
Skip, all I'm saying is, let me see the matchup. I'm going to want my cases back. You give me a favorable matchup opening day.
Okay.
I want my cases back.
Okay. I am here to tell you my team will be at least 2 and done. At least they will win 2.
You're going to be...
No, make it 3 and done.
No, I want you to do like Mike McCarthy. I want you to guarantee. Mike McCarthy guaranteed Super Bowl.
Okay. I'm guaranteeing 2 playoff victories right here, right now.
Don't
I
matter.
got 2.
Don't matter.
I got 1 at home and probably 1 on the road.
Hold on. You just told me y'all got the best offense, the best defense. Y'all got 2 defensive player of the year candidates.
Yep.
And you talk about y'all going to be 2 and done? No. Tell me, Shannon, I guarantee you we're going to be in SoFi.
3 and done. That's what I got.
You guaranteed it?
I just don't want to jinx it.
No, how you jinx that?
Well, when I predict, that's a guarantee.
Exactly. That's what I need.
Okay.
That's what Mike McCarthy did.
Well, you guaranteed that either Philly, Washington, or the Giants would win the NFC East, right? I gave you all 3.
And all of them bad.
Yeah.
You gave me 3 bad choices. And that's what I was stuck with.
You could have backed out of it.
No, I couldn't have backed out of it.
You took it.
I did.
I think you were the one who proposed it.
I might have.
Yep. Thank you.
No, I was like, you was talking about the Cowboys. I said,
Yeah.
oh, you feel so confident? Beat a Tiger Woods and give me the field.
Okay. Well, you always tell me that the Cowboys will inevitably do Cowboy
Yes,
things.
I'm counting
Am I
on it.
right about
Yes,
that?
yes.
Okay. I'm here to tell you they won't. Okay. I will guarantee they will win 2 playoff games.
2.
Yep.
Okay.
And then I'm going to stop there because I'm not sure about the rest of it because I don't want to jinx the rest of it.
Okay. I want 3 cases on 2 playoff games.
Okay. Fine. Let's take them a game at a time.
Okay.
And we might be betting 5 cases on each of those games.
Okay.
Yeah,
Look at
that's
you.
what I'm
No,
doing.
look at that. No. Now, you don't want 3. You want 5. We might be betting 5 cases.
I'm up 10 off this, and overall, I'm up.
I will get
God
it.
knows how much.
I will get it back.
No mercy.
Odell Beckham Jr. caught 4 passes for 37 yards in the Rams' win yesterday, including his 4th touchdown win in 6 games with LA. The play caught the eye of LeBron James, who tweeted, "This route, though, my goodness." Shannon, on a scale of 1 to 10, how impressive was Odell yesterday?
I gave him an 8. And the only reason I didn't give him a 10 because Stafford messed it up. But Odell is...
now Stafford's fault.
Yeah,
We're already going there.
Did you see Stafford? You think Stafford played well yesterday?
No, he had a QBR at 38.
Exactly.
He stunk. He threw 3 interceptions.
And he skipped a couple of passes to Odell.
Maybe that's because of Odell.
Don't do that. Skip, don't do that. Don't do
Uh-huh.
that. None of those interceptions were thrown in Odell's direction. So let's go ahead and clear that out there. Skip, look, Odell making the most of his opportunity. He had 2 big first down catches that kept drives alive. One at the end of the first half, put a great move on the defender for the touchdown. Look, I would like to think Odell would have had a bigger day. He missed him on a shallow cross and missed him on a route. The Odell would have had a big completion. But this is what Odell brings to the table. Is that the ability to make tough catches, to run great routes, and make good things happen. So he's only getting better. He couldn't get the ball in the end zone. I mean, he was getting 1 catch in Cleveland. Now he's at least getting 3 or 4 catches, and he's ending up in the end zone.
Really?
All he does is catch touchdowns.
Huh. Well, he's played 6 games and he's caught 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Is it?
How many touchdowns have the receivers in Cleveland caught? Any of them caught 4 touchdowns in 6 games since he's been left?
They're horrible.
Why they horrible?
Yeah.
Why they horrible?
Donovan Peoples-Jones ranked 71st by Pro Football Focus.
But you
know what? I hate to tell you this, but your man Odell Beckham Jr. has become, as Bill Parcells once said, a JAG, just another guy in Los Angeles.
That's what your quarterback was.
JAG. He's only the 4th option now, should be the 5th, except Robert Woods went down the day that he arrived.
Okay.
Right? Okay, so what have we seen? We saw him catch 4 balls yesterday for a grand total of 37 yards.
Yes.
He did catch a little touchdown pass, but who was it on? It was on a backup cornerback named Cameron Dantzler.
Yeah.
Who is playing only because of injury. And it was a nice move. But
Skip, don't do.
Is this not single coverage? That's all-time single coverage.
Ooh, look at that.
Oh, wow. I'll give him a 3 for his day yesterday. 4 catches for 37 yards, but he had 8 targets.
Hold on, Skip.
Wait, would you believe his catch rate so far in Los Angeles is a grand total of 56%? That is horrible.
I'm glad how many targets did you say he had?
You know what Cooper Kupp's catch rate is for this whole year? 75% of the balls thrown to him and he catches. Odell's only 56%.
Hey, Jim, we got that footage? Because I heard some of the targets that Odell would have caught had he gotten better throws on it.
Oh, now it's the
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
It's Baker's fault.
Don't do this.
It's
don't do
Matt
this.
Stafford's fault.
So whose fault is this?
Yeah.
Whose fault is that, Skip?
Boy, that looked just like Baker and Cleveland.
No, don't do that, Skip.
Yeah.
So that was a target.
If you
what
wanna
about
know
Skip? What about that one? Whose fault was that, Skip?
Somebody's running the wrong route.
Now you Skip. That's an over. That's a simple override. How you gonna run the wrong route on an over?
Okay, so let me bring this back into perspective for you and LeBron James. So Odell has 36 targets so far in 6 games.
Yeah.
He's only caught 20 of them for 248 yards. That's 12.4 a catch. That's the lowest yards per catch of his career. He's on pace to do that.
How many of these, though?
Wow. Would you believe in L.A. he's averaging 3 catches a game for a grand total of 41 yards?
3 catches a game and a touchdown a game. I can live with that.
Would you believe Cooper Kupp averages 9 catches a game for 116 yards a game?
You see what you're doing?
Well, Odell's no Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, Cooper Kupp is having a historic season.
Well,
he's on pace to break Calvin Johnson's record, okay?
I thought Odell was an historic receiver.
No. We know Odell is not what he was at the beginning of his career. Don't do that.
So he's a shell of himself?
No, I didn't say he was a shell of himself. But what you're trying to do is that you're trying to compare Odell now to what Cooper Kupp is doing currently.
Well, the internet does.
No, ain't no internet does.
The internet thought he'd walk in the door and be the number one.
Like you tell me, what? Stop it, Skip.
Well, who wouldn't think that?
Nobody.
If you look at Cooper Kupp and Odell Beckham Jr.
The man is on pace. He's going to win the Triple Crown.
Okay, if you put him at a combine this afternoon,
ain't no combine.
who would win the
They
combine?
already had the combine. That's why Odell went in the first round and Cooper Kupp went in the third and the fourth round. They've already had the combine. But the combine, now, what do we do now moving forward? We see what Cooper Kupp is doing. Skip, don't do that.
How could Odell Beckham Jr. catch only 3 balls for 41 yards a game through 6 games?
But hold on.
And guess what he's getting? He gets single coverage every time.
And he's making the most of it.
Is he?
Yes.
3 for 41 yards
Skip, you saw Stafford. That should have been another 2 catches on his resume right there. Stafford underthrew him twice.
Well, you start getting Odell-centric. You start forcing the ball. You start pressing. He starts running the wrong routes. You think, well, I thought you were going to break your right off.
No, ain't no wrong route, Skip. That's Matthew Stafford. Just like he got upset at Van Jefferson when he threw that pick, talking about come back and fight for the ball. Nah, he double covered. He had the corner over the top, and he had the safety in the hole. Why would you throw it? Don't blame Van Jefferson. And when he got spun around, threw the ball to Barr on the 5-yard line. That wasn't Odell's fault.
You think he's better than Van Jefferson right now?
Yes, I think he's better than Van Jefferson. I absolutely do. I absolutely think he's better than Van Jefferson.
Got him on the run right now, Van Jefferson, because he caught 1 ball yesterday, right?
Skip, Skip.
1 ball for 6 yards.
You do realize
6 targets.
You do realize that's why they brought Odell in because they were down. They won't say it, but I saw how they were looking at Van Jefferson missing those opportunities. Odell was supposed to be like the 3rd option, maybe 4th, with Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, Higbee, and Odell right there. But Robert Woods goes down.
Yep. Now we got trouble in paradise because Van Jefferson's not going to be happy.
Wait, if he catch the ball, he'll be happier.
Interesting.
But you see what Odell doing.
Yeah.
You know Odell get his hands on it, Skip. You know he's coming down with it, right?
Free Odell, says LeBron.
Yeah.
Free Odell to do what?
All I know is look at what Odell is doing in L.A. and look at what they're doing in Cleveland.
Baker was really good throwing to Peoples Jones the other day.
Hold on. Did he throw to Peoples Jones last year when he was the 4th-rated quarterback?
Not much.
Yes, he did. Did he throw to Jarvis Landry? Was he throwing to Bryant? Was he throwing to Hooper?
He threw it to Rashard Higgins.
Now Rashard Higgins.
Yep.
Now Rashard Higgins is Devontae. Yep. So Devontae Adams. So now Higgins is Devontae Adams now. But you didn't say nothing about
it. Was Baker's fault. Now it's Matt Stafford's fault.
Way
to go, Odell.
Hold on.
Which quarterback are you going to get fired?
So what about Washington football team? So all those were starting DB that Dak was throwing against last night? Those were starters.
Changing the subject.
I just asked you a question. You talking about that was a backup DB that he beat.
Let's talk about the GOAT quarterback.
No mercy.
The Bucs clinched their first division title since 2007 yesterday with a blowout win over the Panthers. Now, Tampa is still just a game back from Green Bay for the top seed in the NFC, but they've got company as Dallas and LA kept pace as well. So, Shannon, from what you saw this weekend, are you ready to conclude Brady and the Bucs won't make it back to the Super Bowl?
I don't have them making back. Skip, they're not the same team as last year. Right now, I would put the Packers and the Cowboys ahead of them.
Would you?
Yeah, if the defense has been inconsistent all year. Now they're nicked up with Leonard Fournette, Chris Godwin, Mike Evans. Basically, the only really weapon that Tom feels comfortable throwing to is Antonio Brown. And so with that, Skip, I just don't see they didn't take off like they took off last year. I don't think they've been the team that we thought they would be since they brought everybody back. They haven't been that team that everybody expected of them and what they told us they were going to be. They were going to be even better than what they were last year. And even though they've been together for an extra year, Skip, they don't look as together or they don't look as good as they did last year. So for me, Skip, if you ask me right now, no, I do not see them getting back to the Super Bowl.
I'm going to hang in and say they will. But I don't love what I am seeing. And I told you earlier this show, my biggest concern is that Tom Brady just handed the keys to the city to Antonio Brown. And I believe Antonio, empowered, will become soon more trouble than he is worth. They are putting all their eggs, at least Brady is, in that guy's basket. And that's scary as it can get. Gronk is in Brady's doghouse, and I'm not sure he will emerge. You would think he would come out at some point, but I'm not sure about that. And remember, on defense, they played without Levante David, without JPP, and without Antoine Winfield Jr., who's the quarterback of that secondary.
And then second half without Shaq Barrett.
That is correct. And he could be more than nicked. I'm not sure. We'll find out today. But when you have no Godwin, no Mike Evans, no Leonard Fournette, that's 60% of the offense that was missing yesterday. And you see my little man from Vanderbilt, little Keyshawn Vaughn, he finally got out of the doghouse long enough to go 55 yards for their first touchdown. And it was pretty impressive. This he can fly now when he gets loose, but he's got to get loose. I love seeing that. I could see that. I could watch that all day. By the way, Vanderbilt's a pro pipeline to the NFL.
There ain't no pro pipeline, Skip. You know, they just got some guys.
And by the way, you don't think Tom Brady wants this because he appears faster than he's ever been. He's running for first downs now. And again, it's not fast by your standards, but by his at age 44. Look, watch this. Watch this. Is this not impressive? That's pretty fast for Tom Brady. Seriously, I am not joking. For Tom Brady, that's pretty fast. He has gotten faster at 44 thanks to all the band running that they're doing against band, the beach running. Yeah. Right?
You think so?
Yep, I do. At 44, are you not impressed?
I thought Cam Jordan would have broken him from running.
Okay, well, he didn't because Tom will still run for the occasional big first down when needed. It's showing you that's how badly he wants it right now, right? And he's trying to mix and match with various Cyrus Graysons who's bounced all around. He's been like with 10 different teams. And all of a sudden, he's become a player. And we saw Perriman and they're just mixing and matching, trying to get home. But at least the defense, you got to give them this. I know it was just Taysom Hill, but they held him to 9 points.
No, that's Sam. Oh, you talking about Sam Darnold yesterday?
Well, and yesterday it was 6 points. Yeah. Okay, but it was Cam and Sam yesterday. Okay. Right. Well, the defense is still showing me flashes of brilliance.
But Skip, think about who they're doing it against. Okay, they did that against you. You got no respect for Sam Darnold.
I have none.
And Cam, I don't know what Cam's thinking.
He got loose for one big run in the first half, and it set them up to score points.
And then Taysom Hill.
Okay. All right. I got it. But I still say if they can get remotely healthy, if they can just get reasonably healthy by the end of the year, by the start of playoffs, this conference is going to have some problems.
You better hope Green Bay gets Zadarius Smith and Jair Alexander now. Those are that's their two best defensive players.
Okay. If I get Tom Brady at Lambeau against the guy who's 1-4 in NFC Championship
Y'all not winning this year.
We will win that
I want
game.
25 cases.
Okay.
If y'all get the Lambeau, I want 25 cases.
I'm writing it down right now. 25.
25.
You got it.
Aaron Rodgers will not let that happen.
Really?
Nope.
Well, he keeps letting it happen.
They ain't going to let it happen this
The
year.
last 2 times he's faced the GOAT, he lost, 38-10 the first time at 10, or was it 38-3?
It was, yeah.
2 pick sixes?
Nah,
almost.
they had 7. They got a touchdown. Remember they scored first?
Okay.
And he did a McCrinkleberry on y'all. Y'all got upset about the
that was the
McCrinkleberry.
end of that deal, wasn't it? Right? And then he almost pick-sixed it twice.
But, look.
The GOAT's got him.
Are you conceding that Aaron Rodgers is the MVP?
Nope, I'm not yet. I want to see if Brady can light up the Jets and light up the Panthers one more time.
Really?
Yes, I do. Well, but your MVP threw for 202 against Cleveland. Really?
You got 33 and 4.
No mercy.
Patrick Mahomes threw 3 touchdowns, and the Chiefs clinched their division yet again. According to Fox Bet Sportsbook, Kansas City is favored to win the AFC at plus 175, with Buffalo the second closest team at plus 400. Shannon, is it safe to say the Chiefs will win the AFC?
I'm not, Skip, I picked them at the beginning of the year, but I'm not willing to concede that just yet. Because even though the Chiefs look good against a very bad-looking Pittsburgh Steelers team yesterday, I'm not getting Buffalo. Buffalo went to Arrowhead.
Oh, now you're on Buffalo's
No,
bandwagon.
Skip. Buffalo went there and hung 38 on them on a Sunday night. We saw that. So Buffalo will not be in awe or be intimidated by going back to Arrowhead if they have to face this team again. But Kansas City has looked good the last, 2 months.
Okay. They lost Edward Solaire and Honey Badger. Don't know the exact extent,
right.
but they're banged up at best. They got to go to Cincinnati.
That ain't going to be Joe Burrow just hit 525 yesterday.
They're 4.5-point favorite. I don't know
Yeah, I
about
don't
that.
either.
And then they have to end at your Broncos.
Yeah.
I don't know about that one.
Well, if Drew Lock starting, I know about
Okay,
that.
well, if they stumble in either one of these games, guess who? Don't write off those Tennessee Titans.
Right.
What
Yeah.
if they get Derrick Henry back?
Right.
And did they not hand it to Kansas City once already?
But you see on my homeboy how he doing this game. He dealing now, ain't he? Is he dealing? And he did that without few. He did that with Kelsey. Just imagine if he'd had Kelsey yesterday, what he did to the Steelers.
Yeah, but he just doesn't look like himself.
He looked like himself to me.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Skip.
He looks vulnerable.
Didn't I tell you about?
He looks invincible.
I tell you who did look bad yesterday. Big Ben. Can we conclude it's over for Big Ben?
Well, it's over for their defense.
No, him. Skip, how you throw on the flea flicker? Why is he attempting the flea flicker? He can only throw it 30 yards anyway.
The NFL, that's it for us. We'll be back tomorrow. Don't go anywhere. The Herd with Colin and Joy starts right now.